Paul, a servant of Christ Jesus, called to be an apostle and set apart for the gospel of God. The gospel he promised beforehand through his prophets in the holy scriptures regarding his son, who was a descendant of David according to the flesh, and who through the spirit of holiness was declared with power to be the Son of God by his resurrection from the dead. Jesus Christ our Lord. Through him and on behalf of his name we receive grace and apostleship to call all those among the Gentiles to the obedience that comes from faith. And you also are among those who are called to belong to Jesus Christ. To all in Rome who are loved by God and called to be saints, grace and peace to you from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. First, I thank my God through Jesus Christ for all of you, because your faith is being proclaimed all over the world. God, whom I serve with my spirit and preaching the gospel of his son, is my witness how constantly I remember you in my prayers at all times, asking that now at last by God's will I may succeed in coming to you. For I long to see you so that I may impart to you some spiritual gift to strengthen you. That is, that you and I may be mutually encouraged by each other's faith. I do not want you to be unaware, brothers, how often I plan to come to you, but have been prevented from visiting until now, in order that I might have a harvest among you, just as I have had among the other Gentiles. I am obligated both to Greeks and non-Greeks, both to the wise and the foolish. That is why I am so eager to preach the gospel also to you who are in Rome. I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. First to the Jew, then to the Greek, for the gospel reveals the righteousness of God that comes by faith from start to finish. Just as it is written, the righteous will live by faith.
Yeah. The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against all the godlessness and wickedness of men who suppress the truth by their wickedness. For what may be known about God is plain to them, because God has made it plain to them. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from his workmanship, so that men are without excuse. For although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking and darkened in their foolish hearts. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images of mortal men and birds and animals and reptiles. Therefore God gave them over in the desires of their hearts to impurity, for the dishonoring of their bodies with one another. They exchanged the truth of God for a lie, and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is forever worthy of praise. Amen. For this reason God gave them over to dishonorable passions. Even their women exchanged natural relations for unnatural ones. Likewise the men abandoned natural relations with women to burn with lust for one another. Men committed indecent acts with other men and received in themselves the due penalty for their error. Furthermore, since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, he gave them up to a depraved mind to do what ought not to be done. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, and malice. They are gossip, slanderers, God haters, insolent, arrogant, and boastful. They invent new forms of evil. They disobey their parents. They are senseless, faithless, heartless, merciless. Although they know God's righteous decree that those who do such things are worthy of death, they not only continue to do these things, but also approve of those who practice them.
You, therefore, have no excuse, you who pass judgment on another. For on whatever grounds you judge the other, you are condemning yourself, because you who pass judgment do the same things. And we know that God's judgment against those who do such things is based on truth. So when you, oh man, pass judgment on others, yet do the same things, do you think you will escape God's judgment? Or do you disregard the riches of his kindness, tolerance, and patience, not realizing that God's kindness leads you to repentance? But because of your hard and unrepentant heart, you are storing up wrath against yourself for the day of wrath. When God's righteous judgment will be revealed, God will repay each one according to his deeds. To those who by perseverance in doing good seek glory, honor, and immortality, he will give eternal life. But for those who are self-seeking and who reject the truth and follow wickedness, there will be wrath and anger. There will be trouble and distress for every human being who does evil. First for the Jew, then for the Greek. But glory, honor, and peace for everyone who does good. First for the Jew, then for the Greek. For God does not show favoritism. All who sin apart from the law will also perish apart from the law. And all who sin under the law will be judged by the law. For it is not the hearers of the law who are righteous before God, but it is the doers of the law who will be declared righteous. Indeed, when Gentiles who do not have the law do by nature what the law requires, they are a law to themselves, even though they do not have the law. So they show that the work of the law is written on their hearts, their consciences also bearing witness, and their thoughts either accusing or defending them on the day when God will judge men's secrets through Christ Jesus, as proclaimed by my gospel.
Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. I was going to start out, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the destruction of Candace Owens, but I figured that might be a little bit too dramatic. Anyway, grace and peace, everybody. Hopefully you're having a wonderful and amazing Monday. We got the great show planned for you. The intent, the plan is we're going to go back old school. We're going to go back old school. We're going to do a live reaction to Candace's show. If she does a show today, that's the plan. If she doesn't, Lord willing, God be gracious, we have another plan for you. So before we get too far afield, thank you to everybody who's already jumped into the best live chat on the internet, the most electrifying comment section on the planet. I appreciate y'all stopping by and tapping in today. We have this is like a choose your own adventure. Either she's going to declare a video and we're going to watch it and mock it and have fun. And yes, I do mean mock it. Or if not, I got some other good videos to talk about. So, hey, let's get at it. Before we get too far afield, I do need to pray. So let's get at it. Father, I thank you today that we have an opportunity to gather. I thank you for this means that you've given us of technology. I pray, God, that we will not only have a good time, laugh, and such of that nature, but we'll make much of Christ. I thank you for everybody who's in this live chat, everybody who will be in the comments section later. I pray, God, that they'll be edified and built up and see, Lord God, that we can enjoy ourselves and make much of Christ and have a good time. And also, God, I pray that you'll quiet Candace's mouth. I pray that you'll remove her platform, that you remove her influence, not only in the world, but Lord, on the social media streets. Be gracious and kind to your church because she's truly ravaging your church. So I do ask, God, that you will defend your bride and that you will remove Candace Owens. In Jesus' name, amen. Let us get at it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's go. I was thinking earlier today. Well, let me real quick. Shout out to my people up in here. I gotta put my glasses on because I cannot see these. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much. And, you know what? I do apologize. Yeah, last night I said nobody has done a body language video on Candace, and that was the craziest sentence I've ever put out of my mouth because I did a video on the body language experts doing a video on Candace. So I do apologize for that. Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. I have no idea. Y'all, I apologize for that. But thank y'all so much many people have corrected me on that. I got the text messages, the Instagram posts and so forth. My bad. My bad. I did. There are body language experts who have done a body language review of Candace Owens. I actually did a video on it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Y'all gonna keep me honest. I love that. I always love it. Let us continue. Let us go. Lots of good commentary in the chat. Thank you, everybody. Go ahead and hit that like button. Jump up in here. Say what's up to your people. Green hearts when you hit that like button, if you don't mind. All right. Yeah. All the Candace conspiracies need to retire. I totally agree with you. Hey, okay, so here's something I thought about. Do you all remember when Candace was going hard in the paint about Victor Marks? Do you all remember that? And that I hadn't heard about the guy before. I didn't know much about him. And I was like, why is he on her radar like this? Like, why is Victor Marks like so on her radar? Like, he didn't seem like that big of a person. Didn't seem like that big of a deal, in my opinion. I'm like, okay, because she like took off, veered off of the I'm investigating Charlie Kirk debacle to talk about Victor Marks. Like, why is she talking about this guy so much? Did you all know that Victor Marks just recently he was running for office in Colorado and he won? And I was thinking, I was like, is that why she was going so crazy about him? Going so bonkers about him because he was potentially going to win that race in Colorado and she wanted to derail it? Right. Like that's my question. Like, who is he? He won the primary, right? And I'm like, well, who was he? So I'm going to pull this in, and I do have a couple other clips I want to play, just to lighten the mood, if you will. But I saw this one right before I got started, and I sent it out to the Discord. Like, did y'all know about this? I didn't know that he had won the primary. And I was just wondering, is it possible that that's why she was going so hard in the paint to derail Victor Marks because he was running for governor of Colorado? Hey, watch this real quick.
But if the
Green hearts in the chat, you can hear.
continue to promote their way, bigger government, more control, less freedoms, less liberty, the people of Colorado will not stand for it. And I'll tell you what, our plan is stronger than what they have on the inside. The political machine, they've already lined up behind Phil Weiser. The money's going to them. It's an uphill battle. But I think God specializes in showing off on the underdogs. The Bible's full of it.
Seriously, though, Victor, this was a tight race.
Yep.
And why did it take so long, days and days, for you to come out ahead? I mean, that was one of those moments where, and again, we're talking about the Republican nomination. This is not the Democrats playing around here. This was the Republican nomination. I mean, the fact that it was so close, I didn't expect it to be so close. So I'm particularly thrilled that you won.
Well, thank you again. And thanks to everyone out there who supported us, volunteered to make this happen. We have disrupted the whole political system out here. People are still reeling, including the Republican Party, because I didn't get a lot of love from them. I'll tell you right now, there were over 20 candidates that entered the race. And, man, all they could do was try to keep me out, but it shows what the people want. In regards to the delay in counting, it was so close that they had to wait for cured ballots to be in to make sure that I would still be in the lead. And that was the biggest issue, overseas ballots coming in. But I have a lot of confidence in the system here that they did it right. One, because it's too big to rig. The eyes that are on this election is putting pressure on those who might want to do nefarious things if they're tempted to. But I think it was straight up and no one's challenged it. But now this was the playoffs, as most people know. Now we're heading to the Super Bowl.
Well, so my question is, who will your opponent be? Do you know who your opponent will be in the general?
I do. He's a lawyer named Phil Weiser, who's the attorney general. He is an institutionalized government politician who he gave me an endorsement yesterday as soon as he found out. And he just said, Victor Marks has no political experience, no understanding of government. The boards of comments just blew up, and people said that's why we voted for him, and that's why we're going to vote for him.
I love it.
I mean, of course, that if ever we've come to a point where Americans are disgusted with these hacks that are just political hacks, And now the thing is, though, Colorado has become a blue state. What is your sense of the general election, Victor? I mean, you wouldn't be in this if you didn't think you could win it. But let's be honest, it's not easy in a state like Colorado.
No, and the primary wasn't easy. Again, our campaign and what we did proved that I can win the general. I've got an incredible, committed, experienced team, and we already have the next 3.5 months planned out. It's on my website, Victor2026.com. But what people want, brother, it's as simple as this. You either get what we've gotten for the last many years, and it's put us in this place,
right.
And that is all politically driven. Control, people owing folks, doing favors, the waste, and there's even definite fraud in our state, to versus me, an outsider who's a proven leader, who can provide solutions for issues, and I'm not beholden to anyone. And this is what's going to allow us to win. Now, it is an uphill battle. The people will decide, just like they did the primary. But if the politicians continue to promote their way, bigger government, more control, less freedoms, less liberty, the people of Colorado will not stand for it. And I'll tell you what, our plan is stronger than what they have on the inside. The political machine, they've already lined up behind Phil Weiser. The money's going to them. It's an uphill battle, but I think God specializes in showing off on the underdogs. The Bible's full of it, and we're seeing it now.
Well, when I think of, obviously, you're now you're the nominee in Colorado. It's a dream to think that you could be governor of Colorado, and I know there are people out there who are praying for this country, who will pray for you. I hope that some big money in Colorado gets behind you. When I think of Steve Hilton in California and our friend Mike Lindell in Minnesota, these are crazy times we're living in, and
yes.
You just wonder if your average American is fed up enough to say, I've had enough of these hack politicians, and want to try something new. Somebody who actually loves America and who's for common sense solutions. That's why I think it's so funny, Victor, is that now the Republicans are the party of common sense solutions. Right. That's just not, it's never been. Trump has done that, of course, over the last 10 years. And so it's a different party than it was before.
It is. And the GOP has, they've taken a bunch of black eyes because of issues internally. And here in this state, it's just been a train wreck. So I step in, I challenge the system, and I tell folks, I'm not going to run a campaign according to the Republican playbook. Y'all have lost, and you got used to losing well. We must win the state back.
You said losing
and we
well is
shocked
crazy.
Everybody. But we touched and got connected to the people of Colorado. And they're like, he's one of us. He's not a politician. And he doesn't give a flying squirrel sack what people think, including the media. We got boxed out by the legacy media here, and even conservative. Everyone said they can't do it. Bob, look, we've proven them wrong, and this is why. The pain point is so high. People want change.
It's important for people to get to know you. I know there are a lot of people that don't know your story. I'm trying to remember. Did you write a book that tells the story of growing up and whatever?
I did.
What?
Yes, I have 2 books out. The first one is the Victor Marks story, and it was actually turned into a documentary film. There's over 1 million views right now on YouTube. People can watch and learn my background. And I'm one of those that, gosh, I came from a very challenged background, struggled as a kid. There was abuse, went into the United States Marine Corps, and decided to become bitter, not better, refused to be bitter. That's what was pulling me in. And I found there was just a better way. It was found in faith and a desire to serve people who are less fortunate in order to build a better life for them. And that's what we got known for, including helping women and children overseas who have been affected by ISIS.
Your story is almost unbelievable, frankly. I know it's all true, but it's almost unbelievable. When people hear your story, and I know there are people out there probably listening right now, people all over Colorado who do not know your story. When you say challenging, that's typical of you, that you would very humbly understate it. Challenging. You went through living hell, and you came out on the side of hope and God and helping strangers, helping women and children in foreign countries, fighting ISIS. It's an amazing story, Victor. I want to have you back on the program to tell that story, because your story is truly an amazing, genuinely amazing, miraculous story. And Americans need to know, and the people of Colorado need to know it. And I hope the Republican establishment of Colorado will get behind you, because this is an opportunity in the state that I can't think of anything like this really that's happened in Colorado for a long time. The idea that you could be governor, it would be such a change for this state that has been sliding left. Hard left. It would be a big deal. So your website is Victor2026, Victor2026.com.
Yes.
Okay. And the Victor Marx story, Marx is MARX, story is on YouTube.
Yeah, the film was on YouTube, the book's on Amazon, and we want to make it available for people in audiobook or digital so they can get to know me. We have laid everything out on the line in order to save Colorado, because it is a must win. And there's now hope for the future. And I like the one website that is against me. It's very funny. There's an attack website, and it says, this is the page, the opening page, the perfect story for governor or a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I'm like, well, you just made it simple, because their accusations and their lies, they literally can't believe what I've come through and what we've done. And so I just stand in truth and go, well, but it was like the debate that was live. The moderator, who's a biased knucklehead, he's like, you've either lived the most incredible life or you're a liar and a con man. I'm like, there are millions that have lived lives like me and came out of it. Can people not overcome tragedy from the past? Can God not redeem? It's this whole mindset of you should stay a victim or you should be, no way.
Victor, you understand you're a living rebuke to their victimhood mentality. You are a living rebuke. They hate the idea that somebody could go through what you went through and that God could raise them up to get through it and to be a hope for people. That's upsetting to them. So they have to call you a liar. And I know, and a lot of your friends know, this is real. You have lived this. Your story, it's just an extraordinary American story. What a dream it would be. Folks, pray for Victor, pray for the state of Colorado. This would be a huge thing.
So shout out. I just thought that was very interesting. I was kind of wondering why was Candace on Victor Mark's bumper in the first place? Like, why was he such a big issue? And then come find out he was running, and I knew he was running for office, but then come find out he actually won the primary. I'm like, what do you know about that? So is it possible maybe that's why she was making such a big deal out of him? I don't know. Maybe so. Maybe possibly so. For those people that are wondering, those people that are asking, we are, I don't know if she's going to go live today. I'm hoping she's trapped in customs or something. And maybe she won't do a show. That would be so gracious. And I look at the thing and no grace is going to be given. She's going to do a show at 6:00. And man. All right. Well, anyway, we'll be here. I have another, actually, this one might be a little too long. I have a video that I think you all would enjoy. And I haven't seen it yet, but it's a little bit too long. Maybe I can get away with it. Let's see. Yeah, God wasn't gracious to me on that one. I was like, goodness gracious alive. Anyway, shout out for sure. And maybe because of their proximity to Erica, maybe that's what it was. I just thought it was super interesting that she was so on his bumper. And I'm like, wow, like why are you so against this guy? He's in Colorado, for crying out loud. Like what's the deal? Anyway, now we know. So the other day, I'm going to, you know what? I'm gonna make a judgment call. I am gonna switch it up because I think you all will be encouraged by this video. So you know that Turning Point had the Chapters Leaders Summit this past weekend, and you know that one of the speakers was one Erica Kurt. Well, I have the speech. I started watching it, and it's a little bit long, so I might actually have to speed it up a little bit. But if y'all want to, Green Hearts in the chat, if you want to, let's watch it. What do y'all think? Green Hearts in the chat if you would like to watch that. And we can save, Candace for later. Maybe God will be gracious to us and remove her from the discussion anyway. What do y'all think? Y'all want to watch it? I think it's fair to say. All right, let's go. With no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Green Hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go. It is sped up just a little bit.
God bless you guys. God bless you guys. Love you too. Last year when Charlie was on this stage, I have watched that speech, I can't tell you how many times. And I can't tell you how many times my son and daughter have watched that speech. This event is the final event that was on my husband's calendar. Throughout this whole time, I have had so many people ask, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing his book tour? Let me tell you something. First and foremost, when you have commitments, especially those that your loved one has made, you follow through on them. And it doesn't matter how hard it is, doesn't matter how tough life is, you gave your word. And between my husband and I, our word is our bond. And so when it did come to his last book, could have been about finance. I know nothing about finance. But it wasn't. It was about God, it was about his faith, and it was about something that was so intricate to our family dynamic. So what do? Do you let someone else do the book tour? Sure, they could. You could have a pastor do it. We had a few pastors get up on Fox and other places to talk about it. It's fine. Do you wait 2 years and then do the book tour? Sure, I guess. Is it really that relevant? It'll always be relevant, but is it still on that commitment schedule that your husband had? So you do the book tour. You go to AmFest. You go to college campuses. You talk to the students. You pop into the chapter meetings. You do the hard thing. You do the right thing. And that's what my husband did every single day. Every day. And that's what you guys do every day. You all flew here from across the country. I can take a plane too to be here. After I've been through hell this past week. No, it's not easy. It's not easy. Life is not easy. Charlie would say, and those in our inner circle knew this, some of you know this too. How many of you have gone through hell these past 10 months? Raise your hand. Yep. How many of you had your life change in a negative way in the past 10 months? Raise your hand. Yep, same. You're in good company. But what did Charlie say? He would say, life has suffering, and it does, and it sucks. But you choose the people that you have along the side while you're going through that suffering. You choose those people. And all of you in this room are those people who I am so proud to have in my army as I go through this battle against Satan.
Okay, I got to say something. I got to break it up a little bit. All right. Eric or Kurt, if you are a black person who was raised in church, Eric or Kurt gives that face that your mom used to give when you were in church, misbehaving and not doing right. I don't think she just has a stern look on her face. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Maybe that's why it doesn't. Maybe I was a really bad kid in church and my mom used to always give me that face. Maybe that's why I used to always get in trouble. She would look at me like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know exactly what that means. Like, she just has a stern look on her face. She's serious. It's a very solemn face. And I'm just like, and I hate it because, I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She's making a stern face. She's serious. And lo and behold, these people, the do-nothings, Cantifa, are going to latch on like, oh, she's looking angry. Rah, rah, rah. Like, you probably never got in trouble in church. That's the reason. Your mom never gave you that glance, right? The look. She's giving them the look. She's giving them the look. Anyway, right. It just seems like y'all people. I'm just preparing to hear what the looky-loos and the do-nothings are going to say later on, and I'm like, y'all just don't. That's the problem. Okay, let me get this back on. Let's go.
So, when's a good time to give up, right? Never. So you have the internet coming after you, you have them slandering your name, you have them saying all this trash about you, and what do? You wake up that next morning, you put on the armor of God, and you keep going. That's what you do. And not only that, you don't just do it for yourself, you do it for your future, you do it for your kids, and you do it for your family, because people are watching you, and they would love to see you fall. They would love to see the world break you. They would love it. So when I was sitting with you guys, before coming on stage, there was some of you for high school that I sat with, some of you for college that I sat with. And you guys had a lot of great questions. Some of them I'll talk about, but you had great questions. And again, you don't give up today, you don't give up tomorrow. We are on enemy-occupied territory, and the devil would love nothing more than to be in the middle of your head, to dictate your fear, to dictate whether or not you continue forward having a chapter, to dictate if you're scared. When you have someone you love no longer with you, you look at this world way differently, way differently. My focus and my fixation is heaven forward. I do not care what this world tries to do to me to break me, because it won't. Every single day that I wake up, I make sure that the Holy Spirit has room within me, less of me, more of it, so that God can use me. So that God can use me in ways that he needs to. My husband stood on stage, and a lot of you know this. He stood on stage at AmFest, and he surrendered without you guys knowing, but I knew because I was his wife. He stood on that stage and he surrendered, and he said, "Here I am, Lord, use me." And my God, did he. And what's so interesting about all of this is you have people who understand marriage, and then you have people who don't. You have people who are in happy marriages, and you have people who aren't. And you can tell very clearly, whether it's them on the internet, whether it's them in front of your face. Let me tell you something about marriage. When you find the one that God has made for you, whether that's your husband or your wife, you will be so in lockstep with one another that there is no daylight or separation between you guys. You guys are building together as one. Some people think that Ephesians 5 it's probably one of the top 10 most confused passages in the Bible. Marriage is a beautiful covenant between a man and a woman. And it is something that and I pray none of you have to experience this. But when your spouse goes to heaven, you have made that covenant on the altar with the Lord, that if something happened to them, God steps in and fills that void. And he fills it in a way that you cannot ever explain it to someone with words from this world. But when you think about marriage, and women, I want you to understand this, submission is not a dirty word when you have married a man of God who understands his role as a husband. It is not. And so why am I here? Why am I here? My husband built this movement. He built this machine, and I watched him do it. And I stood by his side through every sleepless night, through every moment of concern, through every phone call, through every high, through every low, the things he could control and the things he couldn't. I was there. I was his vault. I was his confidant. I was his. And what's so special about that, and you'll realize this, if you think about it, marriage, when done properly, when not rushed, and when you find the right person, it's not painful, it's not hindering, Women, you let your husband do what God has called him to do, and you support him because you are the guardian of the home. Men, you love your wife
as Christ
like
loves the church.
Christ loves the church.
Right.
And you... And when you see and you have that covenant, you have to think of it, thinking of like a worldly way to explain it, but to me, think of it as a cathedral. Let's say you're in Paris and you see the most beautiful cathedral with these stained glass windows. The cathedral is your husband, strong on the outside, looking at it, it's beautiful, it's strong, holds the weight of the entire cathedral. But those stained glass windows are the wife. And if you remove the frame of the cathedral, those stained glass windows shatter, they're useless. And if you have the cathedral without the stained glass windows, what is it? Just an empty thing of concrete. Sure, it still serves its purpose, but it's not complete. So it goes hand in hand. One is not a weaker vessel than the other, and you build together. And so again, I have seen my husband build this, and he has entrusted it to all of us. My daughter will be in Club America in 10 years. And something I loved was that when Charlie built this, the most important thing about this organization is our students. It's all of you. And let me tell you why. Sure, we put on great events. We do. But my children are going to be looking at every single one of you as they grow up, because you are an extension of my husband. You will never replace him. He's irreplaceable. But you're an extension of him to them. And you will be able to show them how to chart the path. Some of you asked, how do I be courageous on campus? You show up every day. That's step one. Charlie would say it doesn't take talent to be courageous. I agree with that. But it takes consistency, and it's a muscle. You show up, and you fight. Metaphorically, but hear me out. This past week, I have seen something I'm still trying to unpack and put into words. And someone asked me, do you still want to go to the Chapter Leadership Summit? And I sat there and I thought, I already knew my answer, but I just thought about it. I like to internalize things, sometimes too much. And I thought to myself, you know, if you don't fight for what's right, I would much rather our country look like this room than the inside of that courtroom. So that means having hard conversations. That means when you're tabling, if your table keeps getting destroyed, become a roving table yourself and go talk to people. Go sit with people at lunch you don't normally sit with. Be creative with the ways that you are a chapter leader, because you are a leader, you are not a follower. So you have a heavier weight and burden on your shoulders, but I swear every morning when you wake up, if you need that courage, you say to yourself out loud, God, do not give me any less of a burden on my shoulders, just give me stronger shoulders. And I swear every time you pray that prayer, your shoulders will be set back even further, and you will have a heavy load, but you will be able to stand and you will be able to walk in ways that people can only describe it as the Holy Spirit. I want you guys to take the time as you go into this fall semester and be creative. All of you are brilliant in your own way, and all of you bring a different piece to the puzzle of Turning Point USA. And I want you to think outside of the four walls of your school and outside of the four walls of your chapter member group and outside of the meeting that you have. We, again, put on great events. We put on big events. All of that is very important, but you cannot forget the grassroots movement that this organization was founded on. And so when you guys go out and talk to people and you have chapter meetings and you're saying, hey, it's spring, summertime, people are checking out. People will always check out. Control what you can control, and that is yourself. And that is also being able to control and make environments for people that create memories, that have that grassroots impact. Go do something in the community. Go make a difference. There are so many other organizations out there, whether that's soup kitchens or you know them better than I do in your community and you know the need. Go fulfill it. Find something or someone that you can help serve and use your chapter to make that community area that you have better than how you found it. And you'll be able to do that. And I just want to encourage you as you go into this semester. I know that some of you do know this, but some of you do not, because some of you might be new and post 9/10. This organization is not a flash in the pan. We are not 2 years old. We are 14 years old. 14 years. My husband had a vision for this organization that he entrusted into me, and I know that very well. We will never be able to replace my husband, and that will never be the intention. He is one of one and a true legend among legends. But what he did leave us was the blueprint. He left us the blueprint to follow. And so for those of you who do know about Turning Point, this will be a reminder for those of you who don't. We are a big tent, not that big, but big. And we are able to have a lot of programs within our organization that many don't.
Okay.
One of our programs could be a nonprofit in itself. There is so much more to us than just our chapters, but our chapters are one of the top most important portions of the organization. So all of you do know about NFP, our field program, and all of that. And when I walked into the room, and I've shared this with some of you, when I walked into the room when we were starting to get back on our feet after everything that happened in 9/10, our team was talking about the things that we're going to be building as we move forward through the pain. And here's the difference, is that there are people out there where pain and grief will break you. But all of you in this room are very similar to me. The DNA is very similar. You turn your grief into purpose, because anyone can sit in a corner and cry. Anyone can just say, poor me, why this? Anyone can say that. But it's what you do with that pain and that grief that is the most important thing that will outlive you. And so as we were sitting in that conference room and we were going through the commitments Charlie had and the vision that we had, we left room for God to do what he does best and write in some new things that we didn't even have planned. And when I walked into that room, I didn't go, Andrew Seifer, who are you? I knew him. I knew him very well and his family. I didn't look at our COO, Justin, and was like, all right, I need to step back and we need to reassess these processes. Don't do that event. I don't even know what this is. Don't do it. No. I said, you all know what you need to be doing. Full steam ahead. You have your marching orders, and we are going to get through this, and we are going to make Charlie so damn proud. So for those of you who do know and don't know, let this be a reminder of what we do. I want to give you a brief overview. We have the field program that you all are a part of. We are doing some amazing new things. Within our grief, we pulled off one of the most incredible halftime shows this country has ever seen. We've expanded our TPUSA Faith Church Network to 12,000 churches. 12,000. We've launched a new program, even aside from the new program we had of Make Heaven Crowded that's been touring around this country. It's been amazing, by the way. We've also launched within TPUSA Faith a program that is a little bit more covert, being able to go into the darkest portions spiritually within our country, covertly, spread the gospel in those neighborhoods for those people who need to hear the gospel, and do it in a way where you don't need the branding, you don't need the credit, where you're doing God's work, and you are mixing and shaking up that culture in a way they would have never expected. But that's good. Go where you can have the conversation. That's what Charlie would do, no matter how uncomfortable. Even if you only agree on 5%, that's better than 0. So if you have a chance, find the churches in your area that are a part of the TPUSA Faith Network, because those pastors and those congregants can come to your chapter, can lead Bible study, can pour into the young men. It's special. We have a huge network. For those of you who are graduating high school, we have something called Prep Year. Prep Year is great. Prep Year falls under Turning Point Education. Again, these micro programs and programs could be organizations in themselves. Prep Year, we had our first one this year, and I was blessed to be able to speak to those students and to engage with them. They're incredible. The thing that's so special about Prep Year is that it embodies my husband in a way where he took a large gap year, let's just say that. He took a 13-year gap year, and that's resulted in all of you being here. But what's so great about Prep Year, and I could see even college seniors graduate going there. If you want to go to get your master's or anything further and you kind of just want a miniature break, it's 9 months and you get poured into by industry leaders, thought leaders, people from the admin, all different types of individuals come and talk to you, and it's amazing. It's a phenomenal program. It gives you a second to just take a beat. So when you are done, you either A, know what you're actually going to study when you get to college, or B, you don't go to college because you were able to connect with a mentor or an individual who is hiring in the field that you wanted to be in. It gives you that beat, which I think is very important, and also gives you a reflective period of being able to pray to God to see, is this a path that you have for me? Is this your will? And it just gives you that minute. And those individuals that are a part of Prep Year, we have one in Texas. We're opening up our second one in Chicago. Again, building. We're not stopping. The noise of the internet is the noise of the internet, but you know what we do? We don't stay in our basement. We get out and fight and we build.
Shots fired.
Something also new that we have under our program RISE, which is our minority outreach program, is called Communities. Post 9/10, as you can imagine, and as you have felt, and as some of you are a result of, we have had a massive influx of individuals saying, I have no idea how to help, but I want to help, and I'm not in high school, and I'm not in college. You have to understand that when Charlie built Turning Point USA, he did it with a mindset and the vision of having Turning Point USA be something that will be able to have you holistically a part of the organization your entire life. So for Turning Point Education, we have something for the little ones from 0 to whatever number. And then we have high school, and then we have college. We always have TPUSA Faith. But Communities is something where in your community, it's almost like a community chapter. Again, another new program that we've implemented. The best thing about a community chapter is that the high school and college chapters can also be a part of it. But what's interesting is within Communities, you have 4 different programs. You have RISE, again, the minority outreach. You have Young Professionals, which is important. You have Heroes, which is our veterans, our first responders, and then you have families. So it encompasses all of that. What's so special is that when you graduate or when you leave, you can still always be a part of the Turning Point USA family. Whether you're a part of our programs, whether we hire you, whether we help you get a job with the admin or whatever else. Touching on the admin before I go to something else, real quick. I know it's not easy. I get it. Trust me. I get it. But we fought so hard to get this admin in office. And Charlie would often say, regardless of how you feel of the person at the top of the ticket, you are voting for the rest of the ticket. You're voting for the rest of the admin and the rest of the cabinet. So I say that because, God willing, if we win in 28, great. That's a blessing. But if we don't, we have 2 years left. That's it. Politics will be slightly boring, boring
No,
once
it won't be
POTUS is
boring.
out. There'll be a whole new set of circumstances that come in. But while we have it, no matter how messy it might be, we have it. So please try to take advantage of that and look at opportunities more so than obstacles. Because it will always be tough out there. It will always be a fight. Nothing's ever perfect. Great. That's life. But as you go through life and you're saying nothing's perfect, blah, 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 I hope that you find these conferences and these events a place for you to come to realize how good we actually have it. I will say one more thing before we get into something of a program that I'm really excited about to share with you that's very, very new and close to my heart. First and foremost, for those of you who have been asking me about having more, I'll just do more overarching. What is the vision for Turning Point USA? Aside from the elephant in the room about my husband, our mission is the same, especially when it comes to traditional American values and what we stand for. But more so now than ever, I want to make sure that you guys are well equipped to be able to debate and have conversations on campus. There will be some of you who are going to be amazing to have you sit underneath that tent in the quad and take on every single question in a very respectful manner and to be able to change people's minds and to impact their hearts. There will be some of you in this room, and you guys will be the ones that are speaking to your own generation. That is way more important than throwing some man on campus that has no connection to you guys. You want to hear from your peers. I know that. I see that, and I see the need for it. I want you guys to know that we have resources at our disposal to help you to do that, to get you equipped to be on campus to do those things. If there are speakers that you know of that you want to hear from, please tell us. Not everyone is meant to be under the tent. There are some people that are great for being able to just go to a chapter meeting. Everyone serves their role and purpose in all of this. So I want you guys to know that debate, dialogue, civil discourse, those are going to continue more than ever among all the other things that we have going on. The ethos of this organization will always remain the same, always. And what my husband built, we will not step away from, we will not distort, we will not try to rewrite. If it's not broken, you don't go and try and fix it. Ever. So that's why even at AmFest, you'll see some new speakers. You'll also see something in real time that I think is really important. To Cypher's point, we are not a think tank. We never will be. There's plenty of those. Anyone can write white papers and publish them. Great. What I want AmFest to be is filled with debate, right on right, left on right, to be able to go to AmFest and say, what is this movement, and come out with an answer. To be able to in real time see the white paper, go through the Turning Point USA machine, and come out at the end, and for you guys to be able to make your educated decision on where you stand on issues, and not have to regurgitate talking points that you hear from people from their podcasts that are too afraid to have those debates because they don't actually know what they believe. They just regurgitate the points that they think sound good so that their audience stays strong.
That one there is a violation.
So AmFest will be fun. If you think of a very uncomfortable Thanksgiving dinner, put that on steroids. It'll be interesting, a little spicy. That's good though. That's good because it challenges your normal thinking. But this next program that's new, again, all this stuff that I've mentioned is all new from 9/10. So when people ask you, what is Turning Point even doing? A lot. And we have not stopped. This new initiative, if you want to call it that, has been something that Charlie and I have talked about for years. I asked him many times when it would happen. He would always say soon. He would always say soon. And now more than ever, I know that it's something that we need. Because all of you young men in here, I need you to be strong. I need you to be the hands and the feet in a way that inspires other generations of young men to wake up, to get off video games, to get off to pour into your community, to pour into your family, and to be the man that God has created you to be. And so this next program has been something that I am making sure honors my husband and provides all of you a way to be well equipped to be that man in your own community and your sphere of influence. So I'm proud to announce that this fall and this summer, we will be having our Men's Leadership Summit.
Okay.
You're welcome. Go ahead and put the graphic up. So let me tell you about this. Trust me, we went through a lot of it. I was like, no, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. Perfect. I'm very big on design. It's a thing. So hear me out. This will not be young men, all of you, sitting in chairs with the fire sparklers and the EDM music. That's not this, okay? Young men are not meant to sit in chairs for 10 hours hearing from people pour into them. That's not how this is going to work. This is very different from our other programs, and this is intentional because I have a son, and it's creating this with him and Charlie in mind. Let me explain this to you. When you come to this event, it's very exclusive, very intentional. We are not releasing a speaker list. You will know who the speakers are, but we're not making it public. And that's intentional. Because there are certain people who want to pour into you in various industries who you would be shocked and surprised to have pour into you. And it gives them the opportunity to do that and still fly under the radar. Because like Charlie would say, there are certain people that are meant to be fighters, and there are certain people that are meant to support the fighters. And sometimes those people are behind the scenes, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, everyone serves their purpose. But with Invictus, what we're trying to make sure that you guys have is the opportunity to be able to let that shield down. You guys will be going to a retreat center. When I say that, I mean you will be in the outdoors. You will be in California. So again, you'll be poured into in the morning, afternoon, evening, briefly, not super heavy. But then you guys can go out and you guys can do archery. You guys can go swim. You guys can canoe. Whatever you want. It's a huge property. So you guys will have access to that. College men, October. High school men, summer. Again, it's going to be an incredible time. I want you guys to roll the video so that they can see what we're aiming at here for intentionality.
Liberty is not man's idea. It is God's idea. We are in a spiritual war, everybody, that is beyond just the material that we are seeing. Young boys and young men are looking for something to connect to that gives them purpose, that says it's okay to be a man. We believe in strong, alpha, godly, high T, high-achieving, confident, well-armed, and disruptive men are the hope, not the problem, in America. And at Turning Point USA, not only do we celebrate masculinity, we believe that masculinity is the answer to so many of our problems in this country. The stakes are high. We have only begun to fight.
Again, we build in pain and grief, and that's what we'll continue to do. And so for those of you who want to come in October, please make sure you sign up. You'll figure out how. The logistics someone else can handle, but you'll figure out how. But in closing, I just want to encourage you how important your choices are. People will say, how do you do it? The only answer I will ever have is by the grace of God. That's just it. But more so than that, when I was your age, I made sure that the choices that I was making, it's almost like a muscle, if you will. The more you use it, the more you can rely upon it when you're making those choices. I don't know if you guys are athletes. I played basketball in high school and college. And what you learn and what I love about sports is the discipline. Lazy people attract lazy people. Driven and motivated people attract driven and motivated people. So every day you have a choice. Just like that man that was in the courtroom who murdered my husband. So every choice that you make, I've said this before, leaves a mark on your soul. So when you wake up in the morning, after you just had your table flipped, the chapter leader from Belmont told me the most horrifying thing that people do in front of her table. When that happens to you, you have a choice. Do you wake up the next day and go table again? You do. You do. You also have the choice of making sure that every possible chance you have, you reflect the gospel. And so when you're on campus, People will watch your actions way more than your words. So whatever's happening, before you even set up your table, just ask God to put the armor of God around you and to protect everything in your sphere. Put a hedge of protection around yourself, your brain. Don't put the pressure on yourself to carry a revival. You are a seed planter. Everyone serves a purpose, but when they come up to your table, plant the seed. Be warm and engaging. If you don't want to say big gov sucks, that's fine. Say, I love small government. There's different ways of making things sound optimistic. And that's what I want people to understand about Turning Point USA. What you are a part of is something that is a solution. It's not creating more problems. You guys are the solution to a lot of things in this country. And your voice carries so much weight. So when someone says, why are you a part of Turning Point? I want you to put your shoulders back and stand very tall and say, because yes, okay, this is Charlie's legacy, but it's also mine. And millions of people are watching you. Millions. And every day when you make the choice to fight, again, not just for my husband, but for yourself and for your family, you are standing up against evil and declaring to the heavens on high that, again, this world will never break you, and that you are allowing the Holy Spirit to work through you in a way that will just make the enemy cower. Yes, enemy cower. So I don't care if it's a trans, if it's a gender confused person, if it's a Muslim, if it's whoever else that's standing in front of you, that's spitting on you, that's cussing at you, that's throwing your buttons everywhere. I don't care. You are what? You are what Charlie always said. You are what? You are a happy warrior. That is what you are as you fight. And so I know there's someone else who wants to speak after I close out, but before I close, there is something that has gotten me through not just these past 10 months, but also this past week, and that is the power of prayer. And before I have you guys leave here, which again, I don't want you guys to leave after I'm done because there's something they want to share with you. But before you guys leave here, I want to cover you guys in prayer. I send out something to our staff every Monday asking how I can pray for them by name and what other prayer requests and praise reports that they have, because I want to be able to support them. I will be doing the same with you guys. You don't have to put your name if you don't want to, but I want to know how I can be praying for each and every one of you individually as you go back into the battlefield, because that's what it is. And we are all in this fight together. We are all on the front lines together. I want you to know that you have access to me and to Turning Point. If those of you have not been to headquarters, please come. We have 6 buildings and they're packed and they're filled with people who love this country and love you. And so if you ever have a doubt or a hesitation as to why you are a part of this organization, come home, come see us. We would love to see you. And but I want to cover you all in prayer, and I'm going to ask that Robin Pugh comes out. He is my husband's executive advisor, amazing man of God, and he is a prayer warrior. And I'm going to ask for him to cover you all in prayer in a way that will just ignite your soul and fire even more for the fight, because we need you. We all need you, and I am so, so proud of each and every one of you, and I cannot thank you enough for making sure that my husband's life does not become a footnote in a history book. So grateful.
His voice, his legacy, your voice. Your way to keep Charlie's legacy alive is to find your voice. And I hope this weekend has been, in part, equipping for you to be able to find your voice. Proverbs 18:16 says, a man's gift makes room for him. A woman's gift makes room for her and ushers her into the great. You are not Charlie. He would not want you to use his voice. He would want you to use the platform that he created, that Erica created, for you to find your voice. Imagine if every single one of you understood at your core soul level your identity in Christ and the gifts that he has bestowed upon you. The untapped potential that is in this room can continue to change the world. That's how we keep Charlie's legacy alive, and that's how we honor Erica, the leader of this organization, with you understanding your identity in Christ and how you're made. Not the same as somebody else, different, unique. So what I want to do in this prayer is I want to commission you for the work that God has spoken into you, for the reason that you came, your assignment. So if you would, I would love for you to stand up, turn your hands open this way in a posture of receiving, and I forbid the enemy from knowing, hearing, perceiving anything that we are talking about. In the name of Jesus, we are doing kingdom business here. And he is barred, he is banned to the foot of the cross to hear anything that we're doing. And let us go into this commissioning. Holy Spirit, come and bring your presence and your power inside of every single one of us. You say in scripture that we will do more than even Christ when he was on this planet. We have a hard time believing that because of the miracles that he performed, and yet we will take you at your word, your inerrant word in scripture. And if that's the case, we have authority. Father God, we only want what you want, and we ask that you bring your provision and your protection for your glory. Humble us. Make us into that happy warrior that Charlie so well modeled for us. Give us the obedience to submit to your will. Give us the ears to be able to hear what that will is, what that assignment is. Give us the discernment to build others up with our words. Let our words, stemming from the purity of our heart, be aromatic even to others who don't want to hear it. Give us the courage to serve others, even the ones that we have a hard time wanting to serve. Consecrate, Lord, each individual for your assignment for them. And I commission every single one of you for your assignment, your unique, specific assignment from the Lord. And I ask that the Lord strengthen your hand. I bless you with strong hands for that work as you stand before God in this world and say what Charlie always said, yes, Lord, here I am, send me. And all God's children said, amen.
All right, shout out for sure. That was
God
good.
bless you guys. Keep fighting the good fight.
I was good with that. I was good with that. I think, well, first of all, before we, throw any kind of critique, please remember, this is a conference. This is a workshop. This is a retreat for leaders in TPUSA. It's totally different than, your boss at your company, you sell cars, or, teacher conference, or church even. So I do think we got to keep it in context of what it is. I thought that was fantastic. I thought Erica did a great job. I had some critiques, but who cares? Like, let's just give her a room to move. And I thought she did great. And I thought that was excellent commentary. Was he doing bird hands? Who was he? I didn't pay attention. I didn't notice that. Y'all are wild, man. Y'all are wild. So no, I thought that was good. Shout out for sure. I'm glad we were able to catch that. Now, before I go too far afield, I do want to say thank y'all to everybody who's jumped up into the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much to the mods who are keeping everything moving in the right and happy, safe direction. Thank you so much to the mods. Y'all put mod in the chat because they're crushing it out there. They're doing great work. I critique people all the time. I mostly agree with. Most of them, absolutely. But I'm not critiquing the mods because they're doing a fantastic job. So I just want to say thank you so much to the mods. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. I thought that was very encouraging. I could imagine if I was a high school, college age student that's doing this work on a college campus, that would be very encouraging to me. So that is what it is. A lot of good. Lots of good conversation in the chat. Oh, I said what I said. Brandon, Brano, 2 times, just so I can address you, because I've seen your comments. Yeah, I said exactly what I said. She's still falling off. It don't matter. There could be 2 million people watch. It don't matter. It don't matter. Eventually, her foot shall slip in due time. So I've said it. So now you've heard me. So shout out to you. But I appreciate y'all. Real quick, let's go.
Tyler Robinson. That is.
Hold on one second.
It's the bad guy in the Charlie Kirk assassination story.
Shout out to
Lover
Asman.
is doing more to achieve justice for Charlie Kirk than Candace Owens and the retard right. Really puts things into perspective. Lance Twiggs, while reviewing surveillance footage of still images, says he recognizes Tyler Robinson. Full relevant quote. I'm going to watch it.
Okay. Okay, before he came home, had you seen the press releases, any of the media on this?
I'd seen one Instagram link a friend of mine had sent in our group chat. But I hadn't really looked into it at all.
And had you seen the images that were released of the suspect?
I did the next day. I don't think I saw any on the 10th.
Who would the sub?
I'm going to show you a couple of those images.
Who do it be? Who does it is?
Why is Asman like that, man?
Where's the image? There he is.
Okay, I'm on the FBI's website. You can see the URL there at the top. This is some press release about this event.
Whom's do it be? Excuse me.
And here on the screen, you see these. Looks like there's 2 rows of 3 images.
Yeah.
Do you recognize the person in these images?
I wouldn't say it with 100% certainty just because of camera quality, but that looks like him in terms of the shoes he's wearing, the sunglasses. I don't think I'd specifically seen him wearing that hat, but he was usually wearing a hat.
Special hat.
And then jeans.
You know why he was wearing a special hat? It's because he was balding. He was balding, and you can see that in his in the court pictures. You can see he's balding, so he's wearing a hat to cover up the fact that he's balding.
So it definitely, especially the bottom, the last 2, definitely do look like him. They do look like Tyler Robinson.
Damn. It's almost like the guy with the gun that they caught later on who was, said that he was going to kill Charlie Kirk. It sure seems like it was this guy and not a random Israeli, laser beam. So they showed their surveillance where he was walking around campus that day. I think that the Charlie Kirk thing, you know how a lot of people always remember the Sandy Hook thing and they keep in mind, they're like, this is why you can't trust Alex Jones and this is why Alex Jones is wrong. Well, I think that we should do that with the people that tried to make this into being Israel or something like that. And so that's it. And if you played Dark Light Survivor, no, I haven't. I don't even know what the hell that is. It's an IQ test. Yeah, I mean, that's really, I feel like that's really what's going on. And will Candace stop? I vote no. No, of course not. She can't. The Charlie Kirk's death being mocked by the left is a perfect example of her fucked. I think that really, again, I think that those people are awful, but, that's like a whole separate thing.
All right. I wanted to pull that one in because I thought he did a great job of bringing back in the Alex Jones debacle and how Alex Jones really fell off from that Sandy Hook. And I do think that that's what's going to end up happening to Candace. But there is... On Sunday, we looked at the tweet from Data Republican, which was fantastic. Lots of people were encouraged by that. So I want to bring it back in so we can check it out again. So,
Candace, Candace, we had such hopes for thee. But for a long time now, you see, you've gone crazy. Sorry about that. Candace Owens is continuing to spiral as the actual trial begins. She's had the privilege of being able to speak nonsense for nearly a year since Charlie Kirk's death without the trial actually taking place. And therefore, she really has been the one that can just share evidence or non-evidence and have everyone take it at face value. But of course, it's all coming crashing down now and she's having a spiral.
Oh, wait, did I drop it? Oh, no, I cut it off too early. I cut the video too early. I called myself making it. Ay. I cut it too early. That's what I get. I need to leave that editing to editor mark. That's what I need to do. I need to leave the editing to editor mark, and I stop trying to do that stuff. All right, hold on real quick. That's hilarious, Jason. What a rookie. What a rookie. All right, we'll start this over again.
Candace, oh Candace, we had such hopes for thee.
I'm a boomer. You're right.
But
you got me.
For a long time now, you see, you've gone crazy. Sorry about that. Candace Owens is continuing to spiral as the actual trial begins. You know, she's had the privilege of being able to speak nonsense for nearly a year since Charlie Kirk's death without the trial actually taking place, and therefore she really has been the one that can just share evidence or non-evidence and have everyone take it at face value. But of course it's all coming crashing down now and she's having a spiral. I want to share with you this clip from Jeremy Boring's show. He's former boss of Candace Owens at the Daily Wire. He's now left. But he spoke to one of Candace's first supporters, donors, a guy called Mark Meckler, who reveals something really, I think, revealing about the kind of person we're dealing with here. Before we do that, though, I want to share with you, this is going viral at the moment. Let's have a quick read of this. Someone responded to Candace Owens. It's an X account called Data Republican. It's got nearly 1 million followers. And
that's crazy.
A lot of tweets, 65,000 likes. Wow. And even Andrew Colvett retweeted it and said, look, I'm not even going to get involved right now. Today, Candace, just have a read of this because it really captures a lot about what we're seeing now. So let's quickly read this. Hello, Mrs. Owens. You told millions of people that Tyler Robinson, quote, wasn't even there. That you felt confident stating that Tyler Robinson did not murder Charlie Kirk. He was on camera, prone on the Losi rooftop at 12:22. Shot at 12:23:28. DNA on the screwdriver at 30 quintillion to 1. DNA on the rifle at 1.7 octillion to 1. He told his family what he did. His parents helped him surrender. He texted his roommate, I am sorry. He engraved, hey fascist, catch on the ammunition a month before he used it. You said police didn't even question Lance Twiggs. He was interviewed twice. FBI the morning after.
That's crazy.
Joint state federal team 7 months later. His own attorney. Voluntary phone surrender. You laughed when you said it. You told Sean Ryan a shaped charge killed Charlie. The PETN was in his microphone. The medical examiner says gunshot wound. Bullet fragments were recovered from his body. A 3006 Mauser with Robinson's DNA was found in the woods. Neither side, not prosecution, not defense, has mentioned explosives, not once in 4 days. You said the shot came from below. The Lossy building is above the amphitheatre. You called Erica Kirk a clinical psychopath to an audience of millions. You said the assassination was an occult ritual. You said Charlie was sitting in the pentagram. You told people Israel killed him because he refused Netanyahu. You made over 100 episodes. You built a franchise on a dead man's name. And the hardest fact of all,
is crazy.
Tyler Robinson's own defense lawyers, the people whose entire career is on the line to get him acquitted, have refused to make a single one of your arguments. They're challenging DNA methodology. They're doing their jobs. You were doing something else entirely. And then this person says, Charlie Kirk changed my life. He platformed my work when nobody knew who I was. He had my back when I was doxxed. I was the 10,000th most important person in his world. Now I'll never be able to repay him. So I did what I know how to do. I read every transcript. I watched every hour of testimony. I catalogued your claims. And I held them up against what was said under oath. Every single one failed. I don't know why you did this. I'm not going to speculate on your motives because that would make me exactly the kind of analyst I've spent my career refusing to be. But I know what you did. You told people confident lies about a dead man's murder, and millions of them believed you. And some of them turned that belief into threats against his widow. The trial continues, and every day of sworn testimony is another day your words get tested against reality. Under oath, on the record, where it counts. I'll be here for all of it, because just as Charlie defended me, I will do what little I can to defend his legacy and Turning Point and Erica Kirk from evil. Powerful words there. And, you know, I saw 2 other tweets that really caught my attention. I felt pretty profound. One said, Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. And the other said Candace Owens killed Charlie Kirk's family, metaphorically speaking, of course, or attempted to ruin their name. That was one that I found pretty, summed up the whole situation. The other one that I saw said, I don't understand why all these podcasters who side with Candace Owens haven't yet realised that if, God forbid, their spouse were to pass, or if they were to die, that Candace Owens would create some whole kind of conspiracy about their own spouse. That's absolutely right. It almost reminds me of like when we talk about the self-hating Jews, and they think, oh, well, if I kind of cozy up to the anti-Israel lot, then they'll respect me. No, they actually don't respect you. They just see you as betraying your own tribe, and they probably don't even see you as trustworthy. So you're not even, you're thinking you're doing this in the name of protection. You're not. But have a watch of this guy, Mark Meckler, here, because he says some things that I'm sure many of you will find unsurprising about his initial experiences with Candace Owens when this was before she really rose to fame. Because I think it really speaks volumes. Have a watch.
I've known Candace for a long time, like since way before she was famous. And I first met her at a Turning Point event. She was literally sitting by herself. This shows you how unfamous she was. She was sitting by herself at breakfast. My wife and I went over to chat with her. And I have a habit of when I see young people coming up in politics, and especially if you see somebody who flips from the left to the right, everybody thinks it's cool. Like, oh, they're getting famous. They're on Fox News. They're on Daily Wire, Blaze, whatever. It's like so cool and they're so popular. It sucks to be them at that point. It's really hard. Everybody they know that they knew from their former life hates them, is attacking them. They're being, everybody's on them on the right. We love you. You're incredible. By the way, they're usually going broke at that point in their lives because every other way that they could make money in the past, all those people now hate them. Nobody's paying them. You go on Fox News, you're not getting paid to be on Fox News or whatever you're doing that's making you famous. And so I just tend to go up to them like, I just want them to know, like, if you need anything, I've been through this. It's ugly. I'm happy to help or whatever. And so I did that with Candace, and it was fine. We had a nice conversation. And then about 6 weeks later, I just felt compelled to call and check on her. You said something which I think is so true. If you've spent any time with Candace, you know she's extraordinary. Oh, yeah. I mean, she oozes charisma. She's articulate. She's intelligent. She's pretty. I mean, she's the full package as a broadcaster. And so I knew she was going to be really famous. So I called her up and just said, hey, how's it going? And she was frank, and she said, not great. And I said, what's going on? And she was telling me, it's just rough. I'm having a hard time making it. And I said, well, I have a kind of a litmus test question with up-and-comers. Like, what would happen if your car broke down tomorrow? And Candace told me, oh, I'd be screwed. Like, I couldn't afford a car repair. And she said, in fact, I have a tire that's flat right now. I can't repair it. So here she is. She's becoming famous. She's traveling around talking for TPUSA. She's making virtually no money. She can't fix her tire on her car. And so I offered to help her with that. And I started paying her. Like, this is a story I've never told publicly. Wow. And I just said, well, what do you need to survive? And she said, well, I'm getting paid $1,600 a month. My rent is more than that. I'm watching my YouTube for monetization. How much do you need? She said, I need about $1,000 a month to survive. And I said, okay, well, I'll pay you $2,000. And she said, well, for what? And I said, just do what you're doing. Because she was extraordinary. And I just, we could afford it out of our nonprofit.
Extraordinary at what?
I started paying her. And she at some point said, oh, do you want me to endorse Convention of States? I said, I mean, if you want to, but that's not why I'm not doing this. For that reason, I'm doing it because you're a talent. You're important. I think you're going to be famous and do really great things. I just want to help. So I paid her. I don't remember exactly whether it was a month or two. It was relatively short. And one day I got a text from her that was like the most vicious text I've ever received from anybody in my entire life. I mean, just cut me to the bone. Said something like, I don't think who you are, who you say you are. I don't think you're genuine. Don't ever talk to me again. And I literally, the look on your face is the look on my face.
Like out of nowhere, just like what?
At zero, out of nowhere.
0 to 100. Yeah.
Hadn't had a conversation. And I basically said, what the F are you talking about? And she said, was I not clear? I don't ever want to talk to you again, lose my number. And I said, you're batshit crazy. Like, I don't even know what this is. And that's the last time I ever talked to Candace, right? But it was my first evidence that she's psycho. And the follow-on to the story is many years later, I knew Charlie socially more than politically. We used to hunt together. And so we'd go pheasant hunting and fishing together. And so I was on a pheasant hunt with him. This is when Candace was having her explosion with Kanye. Remember, she said Kanye designed the logo for Blexit, and he said no. So this is all blowing up. Charlie has now made her his communications director. We're on this hunt. Charlie's there. He's on the phone constantly. He walks up to me and says this really weird thing. He goes, I think I owe you an apology. I'm not offended by anything you've done that I'm aware of. He goes, you don't know? Nope. Okay. Like, you don't owe me an apology. It's fine. And I asked him a little bit later. I'm like, I don't know what that was all about, but I do have one question. I got this super weird text from Candace. Like, it was just the meanest text I've ever gotten in my life. I was just trying to help her. And he pointed at his phone and he goes, some people never change. And that to me was the beginning of a through line, right? Like I saw, okay, I don't know what's going on with her and Charlie, but it's bad and she's being vicious. She was bad and vicious to me. She then goes to PragerU. And I kind of tried to warn the PragerU folks, like, can't tell you exactly what's going to happen, but it's probably not going to be good. She leaves PragerU. I get told by folks at PragerU, pretty ugly. She ends up at Daily Wire. I'm like, oh my God, my friends at DW. This is so bad. Obviously, it goes poorly. There is a through line from the day I met her that she is a vicious, psychotic person.
Yeah, well, she's certainly capable.
So really powerful words there from Mark. And I just want to show you also another example which shows how, Andrew Colvert, who was very close to Charlie, has been stating that Charlie was managing the relationship with Candace. So when Candace presents messages of texts and things like that with Charlie, she uses that to prove their friendship. Andrew says, which is so patently clearly the case, is this is not friendship, it's not close, intimate friendship, this is managing a close relationship. Right. So you see here, Andrew Colvert dropped some receipts showing Charlie Kirk was trying to manage his relationship with Candace. As you can see in the text exchange below, Charlie told his team to wait before making an announcement about Ben Shapiro because he needed to sort out the, quote, Candace dynamic first. Remember, he didn't invite Candace to these events anymore once she went completely off the rails. Didn't invite Candace to his wedding. Remember that just about everyone close to Charlie claims that he was actually afraid of Candace. She gave him anxiety and had to manage his relationship with her delicately, so she didn't try to destroy Turning Point like she's trying to do now. The text just further backed those claims. Look, there he is saying, I need to sort out the Candace dynamic after it was announced that Ben Shapiro was confirmed. That is just one example. I know from also people that were close to him that were telling me how much anxiety and stress Candace was causing, because you're dealing with a master manipulator, someone that is prepared to lie for the sake of their own narcissistic ends. So that's really what we've got going on here. And for those who think, well, come on, people really do that? They just make up stuff? Yeah. And you know who are really familiar with this at the national level? The Jewish people. We're facing a libel today.
So I'm going to actually stop right there. It's a long, he's doing an ad read, and I'm going to stop right there. Brad did an excellent job. Shout out to Brad as well. But I thought those were just interesting. I want to say thank y'all so much to everybody who's jumped in. I do want to say, before we get too far afield, welcome to Ninja, brand new member, as well as thank you so much, SC Dog. Said Candace Owens keeps saying that they paved over the ground at UVU. According to Artie Trolls, they literally laid landscape pavers. Big difference. But even more than that, like, what is it that you are expecting them to have done? And I've asked this question before. We've talked about it on the show. Once the investigators are done with a crime scene, they turn it back over to the property owner. What do you want them to do? Is your expectation for them to keep coming back to the property, to like reevaluate, to research, to keep searching? What is the expectation? What do you want them to do? And like, play this out anywhere else. Like if a tragic event happened at your house and investigators are at your house, combing through your home, and then they turn it back over to you, the property owner, for you to, start living in it again. Do you expect them to come knocking on the door in a couple weeks to come back in and say, oh, we want to look under the, we want to look behind the grandfather clock again? Like, what do you want them to be doing? They've been there for 48, 72, 96 hours straight, combing every blade of grass, every rock, everything. What do you want them to be doing? Like, I don't understand what the paving over, whether they glass the whole thing, they put pavers, it doesn't matter. What do you want them to do? At what point do you think the investigation has concluded? Maybe I should ask them, because these Matlocks, these Columbos out here, they're so smart, they're outsmarted themselves. Like, what is the expectation? That they will be like, oh, well, we got to come back and investigate again? Is that what you expect them to do? Tell me, because I don't get it. I don't get it. And it makes perfect sense that they were finished with the investigation and now they're going to move on. Like, I don't understand what is it that y'all want them to be doing? But it makes no sense. But anyway, the whole paving scenario, like, why is that your big hang up? Like, what are you expecting to find that they didn't already find? Like, and we've had investigators in the chat. We've talked to investigators on the stream. They all say once they're done, they turn it back over to the property owner. So we're going to give it back to you to now, try to put your life back together. What are you expecting them to do? It just seems weird. Like, I don't understand why people keep getting hung up on that. Like, that's like a big giant gotcha. They paved over this spot. And what is there? What do you want? What is that supposed to mean? My mom brought up the paving situation. I had to have a talk with her. Like, what is suspect about it, though? Tell me what's suspect about it. Did they pave over it and invest? Did they pave over 10 minutes after Charlie died? No, 4 days later. What do you want them to investigate 96 hours later? There's been rain. There's been people walking. There's been all this kind of stuff. What do you want them to do? Like, what do you want them to do? In seriousness, though. Because seriously, that's kind of a big deal, sir. They literally covered up the scene. They've already got everything from the scene, though, Brainiac. It's already been secured. What are you expecting them to secure at 96 hours, 2 weeks later? What are you expecting them to get from it? I mean, a serious question. I'm not trying to be obtuse. And I already told you, if you want to come on, you can email management and we can go ahead and coordinate with you, Brando, 2 times. But, like, what are you expecting them to secure? I'm just real serious question. Because it seems like y'all just want to find something to have a problem with more than anything else. You think every crime scene stays quartered off right, which is weird. Like, I don't know where you're getting that from. Is this something that you've seen in your own situation? Like, tell me where you've seen this before. I would love to know, like, this is what they do. Oh, it's a cover up. Cover what up? So you're saying that they didn't do anything for the last 96 hours? And I think we all agreed that they covered it up because they paved it. Because people like you, the low IQ, smooth brain people, would be out there trying to tear up the grass, talking about, oh, I found Charlie's, a fiber of Charlie's hair. Or I found some blood samples 2 months later. Idiots like you would be out there doing that. So actually, it's probably the best thing to do for the peace of the school. But you're welcome to tell me what I'm missing, because you got it all locked in place, Columbo. I mean, it's you got it in place. There we go. There we go. There we go. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Because I don't think she's going to go live. I think this is what's called edging. And let me know if y'all want me to put edge in the chat. I'll explain edging to you. It is a very diabolical practice that content creators do. I don't do it, but there's a lot of them that do it. Put edge in the chat if you want. I'll explain edging because it is pretty diabolical. Yes, they covered it up because the scene would have been a biohazard. Absolutely. Oh, no, now we got not Christ-like. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Y'all stretch your hands toward Jay Witt. Now I'm not a Christian. I'm not Christ-like because I said that he has a low IQ. He has a low IQ. I'm just acknowledging where you are so I can pray for you, my guy. I'm praying that God gives your brain ridges. I'm praying that God raises your IQ higher than a room temperature. That's not bad. That's actually being very Christ-like. I'm praying for you to actually use the brain that God gave you. He's giving you free air, for crying out loud. At least you ain't got to pay for it. At least use the common sense that God gave you. I don't know why that's bad. I don't know what's wrong with that. Y'all tell me if I'm being wrong. I'm gonna have to call my ruling elder and ask him, am I wrong about that? No, I love Columbo. That's why I love Columbo and Matlock. If I talk about you as a legal mind or one of those investigative shows, Law and Order, I love them. Absolutely. Okay, so what Candace is doing, there's a high probability that Candace is not going to go live at all. And I'm watching over here. I see her. And what edging is diabolical. Oh, I've seen her do it before. She's done it before. So what edging is you'll set up a stream and say, my stream is going to go live at 5 o'clock. Well, at 4:30, YouTube will announce to all of your subscribers that you're going live at 5 o'clock. And everybody will get that notification. At 4:45, they'll shoot out another reminder that you're going live at 5 o'clock, right? But within that last 15 minutes, if you change the time, so you go from 5 o'clock to 5:15, you get a new set of time. So now at 5 o'clock, it will announce that you're going live at 5:15. Or if you move it to 5:30, the exact same thing. It's called edging, where as long as it's 10 minutes before you're supposed to go live at least, you can keep doing this. I've seen a content creator do it for 24 hours. Literally 24 hours. Would just keep edging. It was a joke. And he wanted to see what would happen if he could get, don't quote me on this, I want to say he wanted to see if he can get like 200,000 people in the stream ready to go. And that's what Candace, I think, is doing. She's probably not going to go live because now she's moved it to 6:30. I don't think she's actually going to go live. And the thing is, not everybody, her stream is throwing those super chats out there. So she's collecting bread and she hasn't done any work. She's collecting tips and hasn't done any work yet. So that's what edging is. And that's what I believe she's doing. I've seen her do. She's done it other times before, but this is pretty egregious that just edging to be edging. And that's crazy word. But yeah, that's what edging is. And that's what I think she's doing. Now watch, if she roll up and don't go live at all, come up with some crazy story, I was trapped in customs, baby Roman, was doing something. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Because she's collecting bread right now. She's collecting tips right now and they did no work. That's what edging is, and that's what I think she's doing. Christ did tell me to tell the truth. I don't know. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Let me know. Let me know. I'm just reading through the chat. Thank y'all so much, everybody who's jumped in to the best live chat on the internet. Let me pull up Brad. Let me pull up Brad Palumbo. Now, I could be wrong. Hold on. Is she trying to prove me wrong? She got the intro running, but I don't think that means. I think she might still be. Well, I know she's been edging. That's unequivocal. Now, whether or not she actually does a stream, that is what it is. So I'll eat that one and say, okay, well, she did a stream. But let me bring Brad Palumbo up in here. He did a great job too, by the way. All right. This one is about 17 minutes. I'm gonna hold this one during a commercial break, but I got it. It's about 17 minutes long. All right. Lots of good conversation going on in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all say what's up to your people, man. Say what's going on to your folk. What's up to your people? All you good people. All right. Let me pull this in so I can be ready. You know what? I am going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and drop Brad Palumbo. I'm holding out. that I don't think she's going to go live. All right, let's go. This is Brad, great content creator, very talented young man. Let's go ahead and see what he's got to say. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear.
Messages where Robinson flat out admits he shot Charlie. His DNA smeared all over the murder weapon. Evidence an ATF examiner testified is 1 trillion times more likely to point at Robinson as the shooter.
I got the chance to call out Candace Owens on national TV, and I did not hold back. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Your home for independent and nonpartisan commentary and analysis on news, politics, media, and internet culture, and more. We're going to talk a little bit about Candace Owens and about an appearance I just did on television discussing the now infamous podcaster and self-described conspiracy theorist in light of her like very, very extensive and lucrative conspiracy theorizing and investigation into what really happened to Charlie Kirk, who of course was killed, the famous conservative activist, and now his alleged killer Tyler Robinson is in court for a preliminary hearing as the prosecution advances with charging him with murder. Now, the first few days, a lot of evidence came out of the courtroom and people were allowed in and people reported on what they saw. Candace, meanwhile, who has, done however many dozens of episodes about this and laundered all her wild accusations on everyone from Brigitte Macron to Israel to the Egyptian military planes to the Utah state government to the feds and Kash Patel to Turning Point Faith, and the list goes on of everyone she's implicated, just so happened to be on a vacation during this hearing and did not attempt to attend it to see the evidence being presented or hear the arguments in court for herself, which I think is pretty notable if you've dedicated your life to trying to find the truth to what happened to him, as you claim, rather than just grifting off of it for virality and clicks and profit. Wouldn't you, even if you're not going to believe some of what you see, wouldn't you at least want to see for yourself and hear what's being said in court? Apparently she did not, but I was invited on News Nation to discuss this case, and the more and more evidence that's coming out and how directly it undercuts the kind of conspiracy theorizing and salacious stories being spun by the likes of Candace Owens. Here's what I had to say. Let's watch.
We finally saw what the prosecution is holding, and it's not even close. Messages where Robinson flat out admits he shot Charlie. His DNA smeared all over the murder weapon. Evidence an ATF examiner testified is 1 trillion times more likely to point at Robinson as the shooter. 1 trillion. Second, staring down that pile of forensics, Robinson's defense team produced a whole lot of nothing. Not a single thing that put a dent in the alleged guilt. And third, and really this is the sick part, the conspiracy crowd is scrambling. That same unhinged voice or two or dozens, unfortunately, the ones peddling their theories about who really killed Charlie, they're now frantically rewriting them in real time. Every single rewrite just makes Robinson look guiltier. Now, among the evidence that...
I'm going to stop for a second. Yes, Candace has gone live, so I'm going to go ahead and eat that. But she was edging. That's no question, no doubt there. I'm going to give it a little bit of run because I'm going to speed it up a little bit so we can get done with it, because it's going to be painful. This is going to definitely be one, turn back a couple, throw back a couple adult beverages, that kind of stuff like that. You might need a tourniquet, all that kind of good jazz. So we're going to let this guy start off, and then we'll get started in about 3 minutes. Give her a chance to tease it out.
Texts where Robinson says he killed Charlie because he, quote unquote, had enough of his hatred. It's a choice to ignore all the evidence. Brad, we played some of what Charlie said.
He does look mad. You're right. He does look mad.
What do you think it says about our culture that we got to this place where even thoughtful, good faith debates gets him murdered?
Oh, it says something awful, to be honest, because I disagreed with Charlie Kirk on a lot of things, but he was always willing to have those conversations and those debates, and that's something I did absolutely admire about him. And it's not just, far left people who have dehumanized Charlie Kirk and his family. Like you guys have mentioned, there's also far right conspiracy theorists and podcasters, and I'm just going to put a name on him, Candace Owens, more than any other, really. I mean, I think what we are witnessing this week is first and foremost the beginning of the process for justice for Charlie Kirk, which is I just want to pause here and say, I wanted to name Candace Owens because I've noticed this a lot in right-wing media. People are like afraid of her, or people who operate in similar circles or used to be friends with her, what have you. They'll talk about like, oh, the conspiracy theorists, or same with Tucker. They won't say Tucker Carlson when that is clearly who they're talking about. I find that to be, I mean, if you don't have the guts to say it with your chest and call these people out directly, then don't speak up on it at all. I find it kind of to be like a weaselly, washy, half in, half out approach to taking a stand against some of this insanity. It's like either call them out by name and be clear about who it is you're critiquing and take whatever slings and arrows come from that, or be cowardly and say nothing, but don't do the thing, well, you know, these conspiracy people, and it's clear who you're talking about, but you don't quite have the balls to say it. I don't like that. So I don't do that. I name names and I call people out when I feel it's appropriate. And I certainly do with Candace. Now here's where I get into a why.
Okay, I'm gonna let this tease out. Let's do it. Let's just get it over with, y'all. Y'all ready? In the words of the DOC, y'all ready for this? Not really. Really, I'm not. Y'all ready? We got to do it. Let's get it done. Because the sooner we get done, the sooner we can go. He said no. Let's go. I've not missed this at all. Let's go. Let the mockery begin in earnest.
To get a little crazy when I go away. I have to tell you, when I jumped online and I saw all of the X trends, I wasn't exactly certain whether last week represented the preliminary trial of Tyler Robinson or Candace Owens. I mean, is everybody okay? Why do I seem to have this sort of an effect on middle-aged men? Did you see this? This is real. Those are my former employers, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies, can I just say that if your husband is striking poses in the mirror to look like Candace Owens, you have got to get him off of the internet. Anyway, can I just begin by saying the quiet part out loud? Please forgive me, I have to say it. Regarding the preliminary hearing, if you find yourself having to invite literal social media influencers into a courthouse, Erica, as in the actual job description of these human beings is to influence the masses about products or ideas, if you feel compelled to invite Benny Johnson, Department of War consultant Graham Allen, Brandon Tatum, people who you, for whatever reason, I'm not judging, did not choose to invite to Charlie's private funeral mass, but extended an invitation for them to come to the courthouse, the public may rightfully have some questions about your intent. Like right off the bat, that's an interesting move, Erica, right? Benny Johnson came right out of the gate and said, Erica asked me to be here. Okay, really? Why? Why did Erica Kirk request your presence there? I would have asked my cousins, my close friends, people I went to high school with, some aunts and uncles that don't annoy me to be there, but influencers, I don't think so. It's giving, I'm finally going to wear black, but I'm going to invite the glittery pantsuit. You know what I mean? It still feels like a show. And you guys, I have to tell you, I'm getting old. I really am.
Praise God.
One thing I have learned in my ripe old age is that the truth never requires a marketing campaign. There's just never a budget line item for truth. Of course, the single craziest piece of news over the last week. And
Hold on. Because Erica invited Benny Johnson, who is their friend, to come. That is some grand conspiracy? Because Benny Johnson was there? But wasn't it Elizabeth Lane there? I'm just wondering, just asking questions. Weren't there people that were more favorable to Candace's position there as well? This is some crazy work. This is some crazy work.
Possibly since the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, is that Ben Shapiro, who just makes everyone's skin crawl,
No, he doesn't,
has offered up an unusual confession that as Charlie Kirk, his enemy, lay dying and bleeding in the backseat of the car en route to the hospital, an approximate 7-minute ride, someone in Charlie's car was providing Ben's security with updates over the phone while Charlie was in the car. That's massive. I gotta say, for those of us who believe that there is mounting evidence that Israel put a hit on Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro receiving updates while Charlie was dying is not going to go a long way in terms of clearing up any conspiracies. So welcome back to Candace.
So I'm supposed to believe that Israel put a hit out on Charlie Kirk, but they didn't put one on Candace. Okay, got you. Because this is her 6th vacation she's been on since Charlie Kirk died. I'm just wondering. This woman is low IQ right here.
Today, we have so much to unpack this week. But you know what? Let's begin with a basic.
Oh, not this week. Not this week.
What does it mean to be overwhelmed? Like, actually, let's just start with the root word, whelm. The verb to whelm. Let's just pull a definition of that. To whelm is a verb meaning.
Call me not optimistic. Call me pessimistic. There's no way in the world I'm taking any kind of linguistics education, any kind of linguistic studies from Candace. That's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I don't even get it. How are you even trying to do this? How are you trying to do this, ma'am? In all seriousness, though. Again, this makes no sense.
To engulf or to completely cover something, often with a disastrous effect. It can also mean to overpower or to overcome someone in thought or in feeling. So right now, there is a seemingly infinite number of influencers on social media who watched the Tyler Robinson preliminary hearing last week, and they reported back to us common folk that they came away from it and they were effectively drowning. They were submerged. They were engulfed. They were completely buried by the avalanche of undeniable evidence that Tyler Robinson murdered Charlie Kirk. I mean, they were so consumed that they all just began using that exact same adjective to express themselves. It is overwhelming. In fact, that has really been the key word since last year, right? This
is a very interesting, and she's doing bird hands, by the way. This is extremely interesting because not only was the evidence overwhelming, the lack of any kind of evidence to support Candace's theories was overwhelming as well. That right there, the lack of it was overwhelming. The evidence to these theories that the prosecution put out, that by the way were not what you were saying, was overwhelming. It's crazy work.
The new wear a mask, save lives, 6 feet social distancing. The evidence against Tyler Robinson is overwhelming. Check out this little collage we put together of influencers who apparently need to pop a Xanax, right? The evidence is becoming overwhelming against Tyler Robinson. Thanks, Graham. Steve Deese, the podcast, today's podcast, an overwhelming evidence against Tyler Robinson. Paramount, not so tactical. The evidence against Tyler Robinson is overwhelming. Gunther Eagleman, the evidence is overwhelming, to say the least. And it feels like he's saying the most. Jack is quoting Don Trump Jr. As having said, the evidence against Tyler Robinson is overwhelming. That's just one page. Allie Beth Stuckey, Mike Lee, the evidence against Tyler Robinson could not be more overwhelming. He couldn't be more submerged. Andrew Colbert, it's overwhelming against Robinson. Whoever Bren is, it's overwhelming. Susie, it's overwhelming. Clay Travis, it seems overwhelming. Some people even went so far as to report that it was actually the most overwhelming thing that they have ever witnessed in their entire lives in the courtroom. Take it away, Josh Hammer, who happens to look like a Bond villain. Take a listen.
So to reiterate and to summarize what we've
shout out to Josh Hammer.
Just during the pre-trial evidentiary hearings in the Charlie Kirk assassin trial, the trial of Tyler Robinson, is the most overwhelming presentation that I have ever seen this early on during a legal proceeding in my entire life. Life.
Whoa, like his whole life. This is it. This is that moment. So I was in Spain and I said, let me buckle in. I too wish to experience that tidal wave of the exact same emotion being shared by all of these people. Apparently, though, me and Carrie Prejean Bowler, who I was traveling with, we watched an entirely different hearing. I don't know if it's different in Spain. I had wondered, is it different if you don't have the eyes of Zionists? Because I did notice a little corollary, right? Amongst Zionists, there is an increased sense of the whelming happening when it comes to Tyler Robinson. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Let's begin with a refresher on what exactly the Fed narrative was going into this hearing. Like, you have to remember the stuff that they say because they very quickly move on from these things. Okay, foremost, we were told over and over again that Tyler Robinson was turned in by his own family and that he confessed to the crime at various points. We were told his mother recognized him on the news. His father turned him in and they both made official police statements against their son. In fact, Bill Ackman, King of the Hamptons, immediately pledged $1 million to Tyler Robinson's father, Matt Robinson. Someone should check in on that $1 million, by the way. He pledged that for the brave act of Matt Robinson having turned in his son. Anyways, here's a little clip of people telling us that that's what happened, and we were going to find that out.
I was having a discussion about how I, just as a father, how incredible it was to see, and just almost unbelievable it was to see Tyler Robinson's parents play a role in turning over their son.
Tyler Robinson and the video and footage of him were identified also by his parents as being Tyler Robinson.
Tyler Robinson's parents see that photo and think, that looks like Tyler. They begin asking him things like, where is I believe it was his grandfather's gun. Mm-hmm. They start asking him this. Tyler Robinson starts talking like he might kill himself. They get a friend of the family to sit down with him. He admits that it's him. They get him to drive up to Orem and turn himself in. His parents helped him turn him in.
They say no face, no case. No, his parents said, that's my son. And then he turned himself in, taking responsibility for shooting Charlie Kirk.
So we have 3 confessions here, one to his parents, one to his roommate, and one on Discord.
Those local sheriffs were the ones who took the first statements from Robinson's parents, which identified Robinson as the shooter and provided the motive.
By the way, Allie, do you think that the parents of Tyler Robinson, if he was not guilty, would be making a stink about this if he was innocent? Have you heard a word from the parents? No, the parents were the ones that turned him in.
Turned him in, made statements against their son. Okay. The Fed narrative also stipulated that this was the left, right? We were supposed to instantly go to war over this. The right versus the left. It was a politically motivated killing. Tyler Robinson murdered Charlie Kirk. First crime he's ever committed. Decided to do that in broad daylight, in a burning rage over LGBTQ rights, particularly trans rights, because he has a trans furry boyfriend named Lance Twiggs. Some hate just can't be negotiated. He wrote via text, like, this is why I did it. Charlie Kirk, I took my shot because I can't stand to hear.
So is she going to actually give an alternative position, or is she just going to just kind of crap on or whatever on what was shared last week? She hasn't said anything different. She hasn't explained how did Tyler Robinson end up going to turn himself in. She hasn't explained that. She doesn't explain anything else. Like, ma'am, like, why don't you give your alternative position? Since you were like literally campaigning at one point for the defense to come to you and tap you as a resource. Why don't you give them the alternative position? Because remember, you were the one that said he wasn't on campus, but come find out he was. You were the one that said that it wasn't the 30i6, but it was exploding microphone. But then maybe it might be the 30i6. I don't know. Like, you're the one. Like, why are you not giving your alternative position rather than just trying to dunk on their position? Just seems odd.
Or the hatred that Charlie Kirk spews regarding trans people. We were constantly reminded that there was going to be footage also of Tyler Robinson taking that shot, that it had simply not been presented to the public yet because it wouldn't have been appropriate at that early phase. We just had to wait, be patient. Erica herself told us back in November or December that she had seen the evidence and she was convinced it was Tyler Robinson by the time she sat down for that interview with Barry Weiss. Her mind was made up. That's the guy. No foreign involvement, no involvement of others. She doesn't need to see anything. We were also told that Tyler's fingerprints and his DNA were found on the gun, and that was presented rather exclusively. They never wanted to mention any other prints, just case closed. This is our guy. We're overwhelmed. Okay, now what was our narrative here on the show? Because after months and countless hours of working on this case,
yes, let's go. That's what we want to hear.
Plausible lead. I maintained that Tyler Robinson's parents did not turn him in. Okay, that was a mainstreamed lie. I said rather he was peer pressured to come in by Mike Mitchell, the former undercover detective with the police force and also a family friend of the Robinsons, because he was Tyler Robinson's Boy Scout leader growing up. I maintained that Mike Mitchell actually was the one who was told that they were going to bring in Tyler Robinson. And he then went to Tyler Robinson's parents and said, look, you can do this the easy way or you can do this the hard way. No matter what, they're going to bring you in. So you're going to have a circumstance where they're going to bust in the door. Your parents could get hurt. You could get hurt in that process, or you can.
Wait. Does she know that this was said? Because this is that fan fiction thing that Candace loves to do. She will fill in the gaps with all kinds of intertestamental foolishness. She gonna put in her own level of ridiculousness. Ma'am, how do you know that was said? How do you know that was said? I just want to know. Because again, all we're looking at is that man was in there, and you tell me how he got there.
Willfully come in. And he agreed to willfully go in, not confessing to a crime, but not wanting them to burst into his home and potentially harm him or his parents because he wasn't suicidal. I also expressed to you that Tyler Robinson was not political, crucial, that he came from a family of Trumpers. I want to be clear.
So hold on, wait. I'm sorry. I cannot get over this. I cannot get past this. And this is why I say that Candace's people, Cantifa, come on up here to the front of the church, Cantifa. I know. And by the way, if you get offended by this, I'm going to offend you the rest of the night. So just go ahead and tap out now. It's okay. I'm okay with that. You're okay. We're only going to do this one time this week. We're not going to watch her show all the time. This woman thinks that you are so stupid, that your brain, that your IQ is so close to ice water, that she wants you to believe that a man just went and confessed to probably the most televised political assassination in modern times. She wants us to believe, she wants you to believe, because your brain is that smooth. She wants you to believe that man just went in there and said, oh, well, hold on. I'm ready to, I'm going to go in here and confess to this because I don't want the police to kick my door down. But I didn't do it, but I'm just going to go confess to it. I'm going to go turn myself in, but I didn't do it. Okay. All right. I mean, okay. I mean, at this point, y'all, she just playing in your face. She playing in your face. Okay. There's no other way around it. Candace is playing in Cantifa's face, and y'all are allowing her to do it. That's on you. That's on you. I choose not to be that stupid. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. That, oh, this person just went and confessed and let them arrest him for something he did not do at all. Oh, and by the way, my defense gave no duck and cover to any of that. They didn't even touch they didn't even bring up those things. Okay, I got you. I got you. That makes perfect sense, y'all. Yeah, at this point in the game, Cantifa, you could still repent and turn from your ignorance. Because, I mean, you're literally spitting in the face of God. He gave you good common sense, and you're using it to do this. That's all I'm going to say. I can't believe this is so stupid. But I do want to say shout out to Isaiah with the 10 Australian. Candace's voice is tormenting me. I get worse when she said, I've been told. And Lord knows, she just going to keep making up fan fiction, y'all. At this point in the game, can we just go ahead and get Candace moved over to Marvel or DC? They need some new writers. They need new writers to come up with new content because Candace will make it up in a heartbeat. We need to start a campaign to get Candace off a podcast and get her over to Hollywood to write for better movies. That's what we need to happen. Let's go.
I've never denied that the gun found was indeed Tyler Robinson's gun. But rather, I have asserted that the gun was not fired on that day and was not used to kill Charlie Kirk. Particularly, we stressed on this show that he had simply inherited the gun as a family heirloom because he is the firstborn son, but that Tyler himself was actually not the fisherman. His brothers were the hunters.
Oh no, not the brothers!
From the beginning, that Lance Twiggs is a federal asset who gathered Tyler's belongings to pin the crime on him. A very easy feat because he was his roommate and his boyfriend. And I suspect that Lance himself is heavily blackmailed because he was into some dark web stuff. I also...
Wow. She done threw the man brothers under the bus. I was not prepared for this to be so stupid. I had forgotten just how ridiculous this woman is. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to have to start writing notes. I know I'm getting old. I need to start writing notes. Candace is ridiculous. I need to write a note to remind myself because I forgot just how stupid she was. And I also, shout out, that's a really good screenshot right there. That's a good screen grab. Okay, I got to grab that. This woman done threw his brothers. Okay, fine. She wants you to believe that his brothers did it. Don't even insult TMZ. I don't even think this is even TMZ or Temu. This is like literally like Family Dollar type of content right here. At this point in the game, I'm sorry. I'm not even. I think TMZ is Pulitzer Prize compared to this foolishness that we're watching. So she wants me to believe that Lance secured his gun from his mom and dad's house that his brothers had used to pin it on Tyler rather than just Tyler Robinson did it. I mean, I can't. Let's go. Come on. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to watch this woman go crazy.
Noted a rather strange predicament that every single piece of evidence that the influencers are pushing relies on Lance Twiggs, who himself probably should be considered a person that might be guilty of participating in the events on that day, who for some reason was immediately granted immunity by the feds and was not allowed to even be cross-examined at this stage for this hearing. Despite arguments made that his testament would amount to hearsay, they allowed it to fly.
She knows that, though.
This is preliminary. We're just going to see if we go on. Now, regarding what took place on that day, we suggested...
So she didn't debunk anything that he said. She just threw out an alternative theory that nobody else subscribed to. And isn't she an influencer? That's a very good question. That's a very good point. Y'all, I totally forgot. I am so... Okay, right. And I guarantee you, if you ask Candace what limited immunity is, I guarantee you she'll say something retarded. Y'all, stop playing with me. I totally forgot, man. I need to write. I'm going to go get me some sticky notes. Chief Executive Second Born has a lot of sticky notes in her room. I'm going to go get one that's going to say, Candace is an idiot. So I can remind myself, because I can't watch this without, I totally forgot how ridiculous she is. I'm sorry, y'all.
Intentionally flooded the zone with multiple decoys. Different young men.
Not the decoys, no!
These our maroon boys.
No, not the decoys.
Photos of 3 of them in a row right here. I said, why were so many men dressed like Tyler Robinson on this day? We showed you footage of many more of these men wandering, all of who fit the description of what we're about to see. And our biggest claim that we probably made on the show was that Tyler Robinson did not step foot onto campus on that day. At least that is what he told his family. That he was around campus, but not physically on campus himself. So in short, it should have been remarkably easy for people to debunk us, right? On this, very easy. While I was sitting there actually expecting, open and willing to have to concede at least 1 point for my investigation. I mean, I worked really hard to be perfectly accurate, but I was like, maybe he lied to his parents and he was actually driving on campus that day. All they needed to present to make me look foolish was one clear photo of Tyler Robinson on campus. What we got instead was footage of unidentifiable brunette males walking up and down the Losey Center steps at various points throughout the day. What was presented in court was a compilation video, which I would like to note was Exhibit 12.4 in court. Exhibit 12.4, that's going to become relevant later when we talk about the influencers who have sold their souls to the devil. 12.4 was a compilation of blurry male, or males, plural, going up and down stairs, and people said, that's Tyler Robinson. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at this video of the males in 12.4 moving throughout the day, going up and down the steps. There we go, and we're speeding this up, I think, right? Or we cut it short. This is the undeniable evidence that it's Tyler Robinson. This is, and by the way, if you're feeling overwhelmed, please sit down and have a glass of water. We don't want anybody passing away looking at this. Undeniable. They're like, this is Tyler Robinson. This is just like attempt at hypnosis. This is, you're getting very sleepy. That's Tyler Robinson. That's Tyler Robinson. That's him. That's him. And by the way, I want to be clear. I can't meaningfully deny that could be Tyler Robinson. It could also be Lance Twiggs. It could be Ethan Hawke, Tom Holland, Timothy Chalamet in preparation for the final installment of Dune. Could be any. I couldn't reasonably deny that it's any of those young men or any.
Right. I don't think that's going to stay on there too much. I might have to get some tape. I got to remind myself, Candace is insane. I got to remind. I knew it was going to come down. I knew it. I got to get it. I'll get some tape. Y'all, come on, man. Come on. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to watch this woman crash out. This is, y'all, how we, this is some comedy, man. Candace needs to do stand-up. Look at this face. Holy spicy guacamole. I'm back to like, y'all, my screen stops are brutal today. Oh my gosh, man. She needs to do outright stand-up, man. Holy cow, man. Find a stand-up comedy club. This woman, I know what she does. I figured it out. Candace Owens is not going on vacation. Candace Owens is going to stand-up boot camp, learning how to tell jokes. This cannot be real. This cannot be real. This woman did not sit there and bring up the Maroon Boys, and now all of a sudden, okay, Jason, just stop. I'll quit. I'm not going to rage quit, though. I'm not going to do that. Y'all not going to make me rage quit.
One or number of the decoy boys on campus that day, who I speculated all looked to me like they belonged in a military unit. Speaking of which, I think I forgot to mention to you guys that on the top floor of the Losey Center, of all things, it's UVU's military-affiliated student hub, known as the MASH Center. It's literally a dedicated student center for student veterans and their families. So that's it. That's what we saw. We saw brunette males, maybe brunette males. I mean, maybe a dirty blonde. I'm not ruling any A-listers out of being involved on this day. Actually, I'm just not convinced. Now, Lance, the star possible Fed witness, basically says it looks like Tyler in terms of his clothes. Like, I recognize some of these clothes. He liked to wear jeans. I kid you not. That was his testimony. Take a listen.
Do you recognize the person in these images?
I wouldn't say it with 100% certainty just because of camera quality, but that looks like him in terms of the shoes he's wearing, the sunglasses. I don't think I've specifically seen him wearing that hat, but he was usually wearing a hat, and then jeans. So it definitely, especially the bottom, the last two, definitely do look like him. Oh, they do look like Tyler Robinson.
Well, I say it's open and shut. He made it very clear that Tyler wears jeans, that he wears those shoes worn by, we should probably look up how many millions of people wear those. I mean, I think I had 20 pairs of those shoes throughout my life.
They ain't Adidas.
But he doesn't recognize the hat, not one of his hats. But he does like to wear jeans. And what are those Chucks he's wearing? Like, there we go. That rules it out. Really convincing. So I'm thinking, let's move beyond that, okay? Blurry video.
So just stop it. Just stop. Y'all, I hate to say it, y'all. I've kind of missed this. I'm going to have to say, I kind of missed this. As much as I'm glad that we stopped watching Candace on a regular basis, this one actually is kind of funny, though, y'all. You got to admit, man, this is some grade A. This is some old school hip hop comedy hour type of foolishness right here. This is comedy. This is comical, man. There's no way this woman is serious. Please tell me that this is a joke. I'm waiting for you to do that, please.
Compilation 12.4. Surely they're going to be able to show us Tyler's car on campus, because what would be the point of a parking lot surveillance system that doesn't capture the license plates on cars? That would just be foolish and a waste of our time. Why would you even have an entire surveillance system installed on campus that can't identify any faces or any cars at all? So the question is, did we get a clear photo? I was like, maybe he was actually driving.
That's what it is. Okay.
More blurry images of what appears to be, judging by the car's exhaust pipes, a totally different Dodge Challenger from the one that Tyler Robinson was driving.
I live in Atlanta, baby. We believe in Dodge Challengers. We believe in those here. Okay, I figured out what her problem is. Her problem is she wants 4K pictures. That's what it is. She keeps harping on low res. Now, mind you, when they were giving her still shots, she had a problem with it. Now they're showing her video, she got a problem with it. Now they're showing her, and they did mention that they were able to secure the license plate for the car. We're just not watching it during the preliminary trial. I don't think she realizes what a preliminary trial is. That's what I really think the problem, well, part of the problem is that, well, one, she's retarded, but also she's not smart enough to realize that they're not showing all of the evidence right here in the preliminary. We would probably be here for 2 months just with the evidence alone, just with the evidence and testimonies. But I think that's her problem, is that she doesn't get it. And she's so serious. Like, why so serious, Candace? Why so serious?
What was shown? This is a car, this is his Dodge Challenger, and I want you to pay attention to those exhaust pipes at the bottom. We're going to zoom in there, okay? You are noticing that is a dual exhaust pipe. You see two, right? These are your eyes. I know the final instruction is don't believe your own eyes, but I'm asking you to believe your own eyes here. Well, Robinson's car, here's a still of the car, which is clearer, which was towed out of his driveway, features not a dual exhaust system, but it's singular. Okay, that's a major discrepancy that people are rightfully pointing out, amongst other things. Like,
okay, y'all, we got to stop. That's a whole lie. You see the quad pipes. There's another set of pipes right there under the circle. Y'all, see, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Y'all, if you are a member of Cantifa, come up here to the front of the church. Come up here to the front of the church. We are going to be giving a right hand of fellowship to people who deny and turn away from their sin of following Candace. This woman thinks that you're an idiot. Oh my gosh, like there's dual pipes right there. God dang. Oh my gosh. How did we get here? Oh my gosh. Like, are you trying to tell me there's no dual pipes? I can't. I'm not going to quit this stream. Darn it. I think she's trolling me. Maybe she's trolling me, man. Holy cow. Like, there's dual pipes. I can't. Please put dual pipes in the chat, please. Oh my gosh. You cannot make this stuff up. There's really dual pipes right there. Holy cow. Okay, Jason, just stop. I'm going to put myself in timeout. I'll be right back.
are people giving me specifics about why this, you basically, when you order the car, you can order different things. We don't need to get into the nitty gritty. Just believe your own eyes on the car front. Now, if you're thinking, Candace, are you suggesting that someone else could have, I don't know, rented a Dodge Challenger and been driving around a gray Dodge Challenger just so they could get images and say that it was Tyler Robinson's car? Well, actually, you don't need me to suggest it. Actually, a witness confirmed that they saw someone else driving a gray Challenger, particularly a bald guy driving Challenger late at 12
bald man.
a.m. You know, there was that Nest video that
Hold on.
him returning to campus.
Hold on, y'all. I'm in trouble. Hold on, y'all. I cannot do this, y'all. Okay, y'all. Y'all know, y'all. Pray for me. Pray for me, please. I have the picture of the Challenger. I have the picture of it. Of the chart, whatever car. Here it is. All right, here it is. Without her putting a circle on it. There's dual pipes right there. Y'all, call my wife, tell her I died laughing in the studio. Lady dear, well, Christian, your husband is dead on the floor. Bald men with beards. Hold on, watch out. Watch out. Y'all, this is ridiculous. Here, let me drop the link in the chat. Okay. Oh my gosh, please call my wife. Tell her I love her. Tell my baby I love her. My big girl's birthday is today. I love you, big girl. But I died laughing at this. This is retarded. This is retarded in 4K. There's dual pipes on the car. I can't. Okay, stop. Okay, stop. Oh my gosh, you cannot make this stuff up. That's what I'm saying. Like, Candace believes that you're retarded. I'm saying this and I mean this. I know if you're upset because I say that Candace is retarded and she thinks you are retarded, email management. I will give you my pastor's phone number. You can call him and say, Deacon Whitaker is calling people retarded. And he's going to say, you probably are if you follow Candace. But she thinks you're retarded. She literally shows you something and says that it's not there and then tries to do the don't believe your eyes. You got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh. If y'all hear me pass out and die, just call my wife. Tell her I love her. Tell my baby I love her. Woo. Thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Mindy said this. She's been a member for 6 months. Can we send her to Pluto to watch ice melt? I would be okay with that. I would put some gas money toward that. Do they take gas money? Ask Elon. She is taking it back to Living Color Handyman. Thank you so much, Craftman, for the 10. Yo, this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, she's wild. The second one is visible. I mean, you can see. If y'all don't see it, let me know. If you don't see it, let me know. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I just want to see the oh, it's a video too. Hold on, y'all. We going. Oh, it's a whole video. Hold on. This is a whole video. Oh, hold on. I know we're going to look. Candace, they ain't show me the duels, but y'all, I got to get back to this. Oh my gosh, man. Like, what does she think about you that she would say something that egregious and be that wrong? Like, what does she think about you? If you remember Cantifa, what is she thinking about you? Because I'm sorry. Like, she literally said there's no pipes on it when there are. You just can't make this stuff up. Bring this back in, Jason. Let's go. Oh my gosh.
Captured that footage, testified to police that she saw a bald man accompanied by people in the car. Take a listen.
Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Ring camera that you obtained, and you interviewed a woman named Ms. Noble. Is that right? To get that Ring camera that we watched with the car on the outside.
We interviewed her to verify the authenticity of the video. Yes.
And were you involved in that interview?
With Ms. Noble?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And do you recall what they told you about what they remember seeing in and around that car that night?
I don't recall. I just know we were there to verify the video. I didn't conduct an interview with Ms. Noble at that time.
And do you remember that the Nobles told you that the driver of the vehicle was bald?
I do remember that being in the report, yes.
And you didn't mention that today when you were talking about that Ring camera, did you?
I did not.
And did they also tell you there were 3 other people in the car?
Yes, I believe they thought that was the case.
Forgot to mention when we showed you this evidence of Tyler Robinson's car that the person who captured it said that they saw a bald man and 3 other people. By the way, paging Blake Neff, he did this weird X Live that we're going to talk about tomorrow where his memory gets really fuzzy that evening. Apparently, a few of the people at Turning Point USA, despite Charlie dying, went out later that night and don't necessarily recall what they were doing. I think we got to try to help them figure it out, okay? Anyway, we told you early on that it is highly unlikely, despite what looks to us to be like Fed drafted text messages, that Tyler returned to campus to, as his text messages say, watch the K-9 officers to babysit his rifle, because we broke the story that Tyler was eating a steak down in Panguitch. He concluded and paid at 9:47 p.m. There's a literal receipt for that because, as we said,
where's the
his
receipt?
debit card. So we can timestamp him.
Where's the receipt? Show us the receipt. Show us the receipt, Candace. At this stage of the game, Candace, stop playing close to the vest poker. Just go ahead and put everything out on the table. Show the receipt. If you allege that there's a receipt, show it. Because there's no reason to believe what you're talking about.
3 hours away at 9:47 p.m. when he's apparently texting Lance. It's a 3-hour ride. So when Lance says that he gets his phone and he's getting an automated message and they start talking and Tyler, he says the first message came in at 11 p.m. Well, 11 p.m., I can tell you right now that drop everything and look under your keyboard at 11 p.m. He says that's an automated message. And then him and Tyler begin texting. And he's like, oh, I'm babysitting things out here in Orem. I'm waiting to go back and get my... Like, how is that possible?
You know what would be really powerful? One of the things I notice about Candace is she rarely actually will play the video in its entirety. Why don't you just go ahead and play the interview? It's really simple to play. Instead of you transliterating it and telling us what he said, why don't you just play it and let us hear what he said? That would be different. Because at the current moment, you're just saying that. And if we watch the preliminary trial, we realize that that's not what he said. But you could just play it and we would all bets would be off. I'm wondering why you won't do that. It doesn't seem difficult to do.
Early 10 p.m., he's leaving Panguitch. He couldn't have been babysitting the campus. This is the problem. The messages are problematic, and that's why they're not timestamped. He could not have been doing what he said he was doing, texting Lance after 11 p.m. Or he decided not to mention that he got pulled over by a police officer around 12:30, and he just was texting him in earnest. None of the text messages make sense, and we're going to need timestamps. By the way, just
why don't you show it?
The messages were apparently extracted by a
Here
company
comes.
based in Tel Aviv. Israel.
Here goes
is
Israel.
aware of the Lance messages, guys. Trust the science. Let's pull these up, by the way. Let's pull these messages up, okay? 11 p.m. Allegedly automated. Nobody knows why he sent an automated message. Drop what you're doing and look under my keyboard, he says. Lance, what? You're joking, right? F, I tried to delete that, Tyler comes back with. I am still okay, my love, but I am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. It's very Gone with the Wind. I love that. I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I'm sorry to involve you. Oh, gosh, I know. He shouldn't have said old age because the Fed narrative is that he was suicidal. It's a bad thing to say that. You weren't the one who did this, right? I am. I'm sorry. I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude. They interrogated someone in similar clothing. I plan to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet. Almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. I'd like some timestamps here. I'd like to make it work with Tyler going to get a steak in Panguitch, driving 3 hours to Panguitch, and then turning around and coming back. Just 6 hours of driving and eating is not coming across in these messages. And then we have here, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate just can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, this feels to me like a person who is not native to speaking English, American English, is translating. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen is not what we say. That's just not how we speak. You can say it, but it's not how we would say it. I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything in the news about them finding it. I will update you by midnight. Here is what I would like to do. It is very important for us to establish, because he is speaking about the K-9s, and I think I can, by the way, I can back channel because I talked about the K-9s on the show, and I can go back to that source. But if you have information related to when the canines were brought onto the scene, please email us, tips@CandaceOwens.com. That will allow us to get a timestamp in there.
But why do you need somebody to tell you when the canines were brought if you have sources telling you that the canines were brought? Remember, this is the bomb canine dogs. Why don't you just go to your bomb canine sources? That's what I'm telling y'all. Most of the stuff that Candace says is not real. She just makes it up. And she's gotten people on the hook, got them in the hook about this, and now they're going to send her quote unquote tips. Why don't you just go ahead and go to your source, Candace? If you already know you have a source that quote unquote told you about this, why don't you go to them?
Because he says he's observing the canines going back and forth. And this could be exculpatory evidence. The Panguitch steak, and I think my gut has been right from the beginning, our gut, everyone's gut, that these messages feel a little fed sloppy Joe. More tips at CandaceOwens.com or tips@CandaceOwens.com if you know what time the officers had the canines there on the scene. Anyway, noticeably missing was any of that shock testimony regarding Tyler's parents' statements turning their son in. Again, we got to get an update from Bill Ackman on the mill. That's a cool mill. It's a lot of money. To the contrary, there was plenty of testimony regarding how Lance Twiggs's prints were on everything: the towel, the gun, the Dremel that was used to carve out the messages on the cartridges. Lance claims, I know his alibi is for that day when Charlie was shot or had an exploding mic. Lance claims that he slept in until 1 p.m. How convenient. Charlie gets hit at 12:23 and Lance actually slept 37 minutes beyond that on September 10th. So convenient. And then he woke up. Here are some more devastating points of this hearing, okay? Lance confirmed my report that Tyler was not political. If Lance is to be believed, then their entire leftist rage motive about LGBTQ rights virtually just disappeared, okay? Take a listen.
Did you and he ever talk about politics?
He did more than me. I don't really keep up with politics very much. He usually talked about stuff he heard on the radio on his drive to work in like their work car, since it sounds like their whole crew went in the same car.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, first of all, I'm not going to rage quit this video. I promise you, as sure as my name is Jason Tiberius Whitaker, I am not going to rage quit this video. However, I have found the video of the car being pulled off on the trailer. All right, so there's a longer Associated Press video. All right, so let's pull this in, and y'all tell me, do y'all see the dual exhaust system? All right, here it is. Let me back up, give you a little running start. So this is where the video, the last one, stopped. Okay, so here it comes. Do you see the dual exhaust system? There's the exhaust right there. There's a pipe right there, and there's a pipe right there. And I'm 100% certain if we search this the license plate, I'm sure we'll probably find some kind of flock camera picture of it, and it'll probably show us exactly what we're looking for. This is crazy work, man. Like, Candace thinks you all are ridiculous, man. All right, let's finish up. Yeah, you can see it. All right, so I just wanted y'all to see that. I found the picture of the dual exhaust. That car had dual exhaust. What are you talking about? Shout out for sure. Y'all, I really do appreciate it, man. What do we have here? She is wild. The second one is visible. Thank you so much for the 2. I appreciate it. Thank you for doing this. Definitely did not want to give her a view, but curious how she spins the appreciate you on and your truth. Thank you so much, friend. I appreciate the 5. Sunshine. Thank you, Sunshine Susie. And what do you say here? Thank you so much for the 10. As someone who only really watched Candace, the Blake Lively debacle, like he did that, and Brigitte, to get the scoop, how can anyone watch Candace and not die laughing? How can anyone take this serious? I don't know. That's going to be that's a talent that you can watch this and not laugh, because it's ridiculous. So shout out. Thank you so much for the 2, for sure. She thinks she knows it all. This is what I mean by Dunning-Kruger effect. This is Dunning-Kruger. When you just know, now she knows car situation. Now she knows text messages. Now she knows this. She knows everything, but she knows nothing. Mike, thank you so much, brother. Always supporting the channel. Thank you. He says this, but Jason, She's been right about everything. Instead of using the dictionary for overwhelm, she should have looked up right and everything. Also, is she recycling clothes now? I saw that too, and I was thinking that, but I didn't want to go there because I'm not a fashionista, so I might have missed something. But y'all, thank you so much. All right, let's get this back. Let's go. We gonna make it, y'all. We gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Let's go.
Most of the time, but I wouldn't say super consistently because it wasn't a topic I really contributed much on.
What about Charlie Kirk? Did you ever talk about Charlie Kirk?
I personally had never heard him talk about Charlie Kirk before specifically.
Okay. How about political issues? So did you ever talk about gender identity issues and LGBTQ rights?
No, not really. Usually if he did talk about politics stuff, it was relating to Trump or current like policies being like issued or voted on, I think. But yeah.
Oh, I think we reported that it was a family filled with Trump supporters, and you're telling me just he would maybe hear something on the radio and talk about a policy issue. Didn't seem to stress that he hated Trump there. You never heard him speak about LGBTQ issues. Are you telling me that people were trying to essentially launch a civil war between the left and the right, and the very people who claim to be fighting that sort of stuff were actually trying to instigate it? Trying to instigate that left versus right, gay versus straight. This was being initiated by the right because they just couldn't wait to hear anything beyond what the Fed was serving. But there was even more explosive testimony, believe it or not, and it got really scientific. And it came from the ATF on the final day. This is actually my view of the reason that the influencers went positively insane and suddenly pretended that they were made privy to some 4K HD video footage of Tyler Robinson taking the shot on the roof. They, of course, were lying through their teeth. We're going to get to that later. But I believe that the reason they did it, the reason why they went insane, was to overcome the testimony of Caitlin Oliver, okay? Caitlin Oliver was the ATF's forensic biologist. And she gave a devastating testimony it was devastating to the prosecution. And these are the major points from that testimony, okay? First, she explicitly admitted that the media's assertion that Tyler Robinson's DNA was found on the gun was, and I quote, a scientifically indefensible statement. Take a listen.
From a scientific standpoint, you couldn't read the paragraph that sets out the likelihood ratio in your report, whatever the number, and then blast a headline in the media, Mr. Robinson's DNA is found on this item. That's a source attribution, is it not?
Correct, yes.
And that would not be scientifically defensible, would it?
Correct.
Tyler Robinson's lawyer then goes through great pains to show that the media and the influencers took what was essentially scientific jargon and they lied. And I'm going to explain that to you, so I want you to lock in, okay? You may have heard them over and over again stipulating that Tyler Robinson was a major contributor to the DNA sample, right? So if you're uninitiated and you hear that, it sounds like it means Tyler Robinson's DNA was all over the gun. He's a major contributor to the DNA sample. But it actually does not mean that at all. And I want you to take a listen to what she says, and then I'm going to break it down for you further so that you can understand what they did here.
And you can't tell us anything about when the DNA was deposited on the trigger guard or the trigger, correct?
Correct.
You can't tell us anything about whether, when you say it's at least 4, it could be 5, 6, or 7 people with DNA on that trigger or trigger guard, correct?
Correct, which is why we have the major contributor that is suitable for comparison, and the minor contributor is not suitable for comparison due to that complexity.
And again, major, minor just has to do with the levels of DNA you were seeing. It has nothing to do with someone being engaged in activity that is major in relation to the minor contributor.
Yeah, so the major contributor is the majority of the DNA contributed to that sample.
Okay.
So I'm going to break that down further and why.
Please break it down to us.
Something else that she's going to say that is explosive.
Explosive. Break it down with. Hold on, y'all. Make sure you buckle in, because Candace is going to break it down to us. She's going to break down ATF legal scientific jargon for the great unwashed. She's going to break it down to us. Break it down in the chat. We need it broken down. We need it broke down. Break it down, Candace. We need this. We got to have you break it down to us. We got to. It's got to be real, Candace. We need you to break it down. Don't hold anything back. Give us that knowledge. Knowledge.
Is that this is my mug. I drink out of this mug every day. So
all the time.
I definitively would have the most DNA fingerprints all over this mug. But occasionally, Ashley, my producer, will go fill up the mug. So let's say Ashley, when she fills up the mug, I'm all on the handle. Maybe Ashley just touches her 2 fingers here when she fills up the water, okay? She is saying that these are mixed samples. So let's say they just took a sample right here of where Ashley happens to have touched it, but it still also has my fingerprint on it. Ashley could be described as a major contributor to the DNA sample, despite the fact that this is my mug and the majority of this mug has my DNA on it. Ashley could be described because they just carved out that one portion, which happens to have Ashley's DNA on it. So they intentionally misconstrued the intention of the ATF report when they were relying on a sample in which Tyler Robinson was the major contributor of that particular mixed sample. And he also went through great lengths to explain to people why they don't use, since 1996, they actually don't rely on mixed samples for that very reason, because it confuses matters. They try to isolate samples. She then confirms our repeat report, as you just heard her, that there was a minimum of 5 sets of DNA on some of these mixed samples, 4 sets of DNA. Could be more people that actually were also found on the gun, but prints which were found on the—
Are you getting how intent she really wants this to be true? And how badly she wants to slice this apart and separate Tyler Robinson from this gun? Are you getting like the urgency from her? And I didn't speed it. I've only got a 1 1/4 speed, but she is very serious. She really wants this to be true. This sounds like a kid that's come home from school and they've been lying, and they just really they want you to believe this story. They really want you to believe this story. All right, let's keep it going.
The gun, which of course included Lance Twiggs. It also included Matt Robinson, Tyler's father. I'm going to guess that it also included his brothers. And of those multiple sets, and this is what is crucial and is explosive, and everyone should have reported on this, she reported that Tyler Robinson's DNA sample was the most degraded. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Tyler Robinson, all of these prints on the gun, Tyler Robinson's prints were the most degraded, or his DNA was the most degraded. And I'm going to explain that in a second. Take a listen to her say that.
The 1.3 sample is described as swabs of trigger and trigger guard, right?
Correct.
You didn't do the swabs, but am I correct that you have no way of knowing which part was from the trigger and which part was from the trigger guard?
Correct. So they were swabbed together, so I wouldn't be able to say where the DNA came from.
And that's one of the samples that was degraded, correct?
There were signs of degradation present in that sample, yes.
And you said with regard to that sample, that was a sample consistent with at least 4 contributors, correct?
Correct.
And did what you term the major profile have the largest amount of degradation in that sample?
There was, yes.
You know, the odd thing is Candace is trying to debunk the gun theory. I'll call it a theory just to try to be fair. She's trying to debunk the gun theory, but she has not proven the exploding microphone theory, which is her bread and butter. So does it not stand out to her at all that nobody, defense or prosecution, is saying that a microphone exploded? But they've said both of them agree that a gun killed him. Defense and prosecution agree that a gun killed him. Nobody is saying that exploding microphone did it, Candace. And I do think it's also very, very interesting. And I'll have to go back and look how many times she says explosive. I just think that's interesting. She's saying that so much today. I don't know if that's like I don't watch her anymore, but it just seems odd that she keeps saying it's explosive. She said it at least 5 times already. And let's get done, Jason. Let's go.
Exhibit 1.3, do you know where that swab was taken from?
I have to refer back to page 2.
Can we refer back to page 2, please, Kimberly? Thank you.
1.3 is the swabs of the trigger and trigger guard of the rifle.
And going back to page 5. And we've had some talk, some testimony from you and some questions for you about the likelihood ratios. What was your conclusion as to the likelihood ratio that you analyzed in this question, in calculation number 3?
I don't think we need this.
The DNA profile was at least one.
Okay, so you heard her say that his was the most degraded of the firearms, and she's talking about the trigger guard and the trigger. She's not sure where they got the sample from, and that's a huge difference because they kept saying that his DNA was on the trigger, and she's admitting it could be the trigger guard. That's just the cover for the trigger. And of all of the samples that were on there, Tyler's was the most degraded. That is an absolute bombshell. Let me explain why. Okay, because it's not possible. For clarity, earlier on, she discusses that DNA can stay on an object for a very long time. She doesn't get specific. I can tell you, and you can research this on your own, DNA can stay on an object for decades, okay? But over time, it can certainly degrade. It can degrade because it's been exposed, and she does testify to humidity over time. Dust particles begin to set in. If you just put up your grandpa's gun and dust particles are just sitting in your house because you don't use it, that would be a reason that it might degrade. Maybe you had water on it, it might degrade. It does not seem to me that DNA would suddenly degrade immediately after someone shoots a person, jumps off a rooftop, and tosses the gun into a nearby bush. Okay? This registers to me as more evidence that Lance Twiggs simply took Tyler Robinson's family heirloom of a gun and helped the feds set him up as a patsy. There is no reason why Lance Twiggs's prints are less degraded than Tyler Robinson's prints on this gun if Tyler Robinson is the shooter. It is a massive admission by her that his prints were degrading, given how much it takes to degrade those prints. So that was something that I felt that they were intentionally trying to gloss over and realizing that she's basically kind of asserting like Matt Robinson and Lance Twiggs had a stronger DNA sample than Tyler Robinson did. He was the most degraded. And then, of course, when you couple this with the day earlier, the ATFs, every time the ATF spoke, it was devastating for the prosecution. The ATF ballistics expert was a woman named Samantha Carner. She spoke on day 4, and she similarly gave testimony that was very in the weeds and scientific. And whenever they do that, I just start researching the numbers they're saying, because I know that there's a point being made.
So one of the things is Candace relies on her research. And y'all know I'm a pre-K law student, and y'all know what that means. That means I know nothing. I'm going to reach out to a lawyer and ask him or her questions, and I might bring them back, or I might give a theory, but I'll say like, hey, I could be wrong. Just because you sat there, you heard something scientific and you did some quote unquote research, and you're now jumping out here in front of this internet, on the Lord's internet, to say something, man, that doesn't mean that you're right. It doesn't mean that you're right. And Lord knows it, because there's not one thing that you've said in the last 10 months that has been right. So it's fair to say, Candace, that we don't trust your research. Where's your expert that we can ask questions of? We don't trust you, because you have proven yourself to not be a reliable source by any means or measure. By any twist of fate, you're not a reliable source. That's all I'm going to say. Let's go.
And Tyler Robinson's defense did a very good job of asking her to read her report of the diameter range for the bullet jacket fragment. By the way, it was weird off the bat that they said they took 7 fragments from Charlie's body. She testifies that she only received 4 of them in an envelope, in a manila envelope. So 3 disappeared. Of the 4 that she got, 3 of them were unusable, and then she was left with 1, which she labeled 6A, and that's what they're discussing, this bullet jacket fragment. And she gives this a range of diameter, and it describes in detail why she gave it that range and how confident she was that you were looking for a bullet that would be in this range of a diameter. Take a listen to this testimony and the range that she gives.
Wait, hold on.
The range of the diameter for the 6A
Hold on, wait.
fragment was
Wait. I just heard something. Did y'all hear it? Candace talks her own point into the trash. Hold on one second. I don't like rewinding, but we got to rewind. Notice what she says. Hold on.
In an envelope, in a manila envelope. So 3 disappeared. Much it takes to degrade those prints. So that was something that I felt that they were intentionally trying to gloss over and realizing that she's basically kind of asserting like Matt Robinson and Lance Twiggs had a stronger DNA sample than Tyler Robinson did. He was the most degraded. And then, of course, when you couple this with the day earlier, the ATFs, every time the ATF spoke, it was devastating for the prosecution. The ATF ballistics expert was a woman named Samantha Carner. She spoke on day 4.
Listen to what she says. Listen to what she says right here.
Testimony that was very in the weeds and scientific. And whenever they do that, I just start researching the numbers they're saying, because I know that there's a point being made. And Tyler Robinson's defense did a very good job of asking her to read her report of the diameter range for the bullet jacket fragment. By the way, it was weird off the bat that they said they took 7 fragments from Charlie's body.
7 fragments from Charlie's body. Fragments of what, Candace? Fragments of what? fragments of bullets. That's right. A bullet fragment. There you go, Candace. So again, we're duck hunting all of your theories. So now we know it was a bullet that killed Charlie Kirk, and now we know what type of bullet it was that killed Charlie Kirk. Because she's not going to talk about that, by the way. She's not going to mention that part of it, which I think is adorable. So shout out to her, man. Shout out to Candace.
He testifies that she only received 4 of them in an envelope, in a manila envelope. So 3 disappeared. Of the 4 that she got, 3 of them were unusable, and then she was left with 1, which she labeled 6A, and that's what they're discussing. This bullet jacket fragment.
Bullet jacket fragment. Not exploded microphone fragment. Not Ninja Turtle paralyzing dart. Bullet jacket fragment. Thank you, Candace. Thank you very much, Candace.
And she gives this a range of diameter. And it describes in detail why she gave it that range and how confident she was that you were looking for a bullet that would be in this range of a diameter. Take a listen to this testimony and the range that she gives.
The range of the diameter for the 6A bullet jacket fragment was 0.286 to 0.301 inches.
The reason why that matters is because it's too small for Tyler's 30-06. That's why he was going through great lengths to get her saying that on record. Because 30-06 would begin at 0.308. And then it goes upward, the cartridge diameter goes upward to 0.471. So she's basically admitting it's not Tyler Robinson's gun. I would love to see this go on. I would love to see this go further because, well, if people are going to be able to see the full extent of this trial, you are going to really appreciate the psychological campaign further that is being employed right now, the audacity of these influencers. We return now to exhibit 12.4, okay? 12.4, again, is the original compilation footage. It's the footage of Tyler Robinson or Timothy Chalamet, right? Or Timothy Chalamet. Maybe it's Ben Shapiro. I don't know. Maybe Ben Shapiro's a little too short.
She said Ben Shapiro, that's diabolical.
Right, of a decent height could be walking up these stairs. And they're giving us this compilation of parking garage footage plus footage of Tyler Robinson jumping onto the rooftop. They made it clear on day 2 of the trial that 12.4, this compilation, does not show Tyler Robinson taking the shot. Okay, they made that perfectly clear, and take a listen to that.
If you wouldn't mind just describing in a bit more detail what this compilation includes.
The compilation shows the movements of individual believed to be Mr. Robinson on Utah Valley University campus, arriving and leaving in a vehicle, arriving and leaving on foot, and then returning and leaving, and then attempting to gain access again in a vehicle. And his movements throughout the day are included in the videos also.
Is there any footage of the alleged shooting?
There is not, Judge.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay. So 12.4 does not have any footage, did not capture footage of Tyler Robinson actually taking a shot, who they believe is Tyler Robinson actually taking a shot. Also on day 2, they discussed a piece of footage that was born from 12.4, okay? They discussed it, and it was an exhibit that was labeled 12.1. It was the same footage as 12.4, which we've all seen. That is available. You can go watch that entire footage. You can watch that day 2 of the trial. It is the same footage, but except they claim that they enhanced the footage, and they were very clear about what that meant. This was a whole back and forth about what does it mean you took 12.4 and you enhanced it, and here is what they said 12.1 was. Take a listen.
Let's return again to what's been marked Stakes Exhibit 12.1. Again, you've reviewed that video.
Yes.
And the difference between 12.1, there was been marked Stakes Exhibit 12.4.
Has anybody ever watched body cam footage where somebody's just outright lying? Maybe they were shoplifting, or maybe they're drunk driving or something like that, and they're just lying. They're just jumping all over the place. The story just goes all over the place. Why is it that Candace, in quote unquote discussing this topic, is everywhere? She's gone everywhere. I mean, she's on day 2, then she's on day 5, day 4, she jumps back to day 2. Oh, don't worry about day 3. Like, what? Why is she doing this? Does anybody know? Let me know. Comment down below.
If I understand you correctly, are these enhancements that we've been talking about?
Yes.
And specifically, what be specific about the enhancements, and let's go one at a time.
Okay.
I think there's a reference to either red circles or red highlights.
Correct.
That's how Mr. Olson described it. Red highlights.
Yes.
Do you know what he's what's What is he referencing by the red highlights, or what do you believe he's referencing?
I believe he's referring to red ovals or circles that were placed over the image to identify specific individuals of note.
I think the next enhancement that has been mentioned that we've talked about is there's some blurring.
Yes.
Do you know what that, tell us what that is. What blurring do you see in state, what's been marked as State's Exhibit 12.1 that you now don't see in 12.4?
If I recall, there were some individuals in the parking garage footage and their faces were blurred.
Is anything other than faces being blurred? And then the last thing is, I believe, is there's some zooming in and zooming out that's in 12.1 that has been removed.
Yes.
12.4. What can you tell us about the zooming in and the zooming out?
Predominantly, it's in the area that was referred to as viewing the Losi building rooftop. I believe it focuses on the area where Mr. Robinson comes up the stairs and onto the rooftop. Those portions of that particular footage were zoomed in for clarity.
So to reiterate, 12.1 is simply an enhanced video of 12.4. What enhanced means is that it zooms in at the end on the Losi Center portion. When we just see a blur running across, they said we zoomed in on this. And I don't know about you guys, my experience is that when you zoom in, things become less clear on my phone, but I've never claimed to be a tech genius. We're also told that it features highlights, and they've added some red circles like we do often on this show. And they also decided to blur some faces of other people that were in the background during the parking lot shots. They made this clear. Beyond that, they actually showed 12.1 already in court.
Let me show you something. Candace is so dishonest. Like, I don't think she even realizes how dishonest she is. I'm going to back up her video. Okay. I'm going to pull her back on. I'm going to show you something real quick. I'm just going to show you how dishonest she is. Remember this when she did this on the video? Remember this when she put the circle on the video? Because apparently that's bad. Now, she also zoomed in. This is her zooming in on the tailpipe of the car. What in the world? Like this. There we go. This is her zooming in on the tailpipe. But watch this. Remember this? When she put the circle on it and obscured the other dual pipe? Like, Candace, pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. She zoomed in, put a circle on here, and obscured the other pipe and said there wasn't a second tailpipe. Like, that's how dishonest she is. And you got to start wondering this, though, for real, though. In all seriousness, though, if you are a Cantifa supporter, come on up here to the front of the church. Come on up here. Come on up here. You got to wonder, why is she going through such lengths to be dishonest and duplicitous in her presentation? What's her vested interest in this? That she wants to prove Tyler Robinson. I mean, she's going through lengths that, by the way, the defense isn't even applying these, by the way. Why is she doing that? You got to wonder that. You have to. You got to. It's just wild work. All right. But guess what I did? I did not back up the video. Bada boom. Ha. I opened up a second window so we can keep this going. Let's get done.
But it was for the judge and the witness only, except they made a mistake. And they accidentally left their computer open, so Court TV captured some of that footage. And you can see that it is literally the exact same video as 12
Okay,
before,
and?
zoomed in. So great work from this ex-user at CanCon for catching that. I don't know if we can pull that up, Sky. Around the 2:35 mark, he zooms in and shows the video. Actually, did you pull that link by any chance? Yeah, let's play that. Let's play this link so you can actually see it yourselves before we watch how the influencers reacted. There they are watching it on the screen.
Okay, now you can see that this is the top right quadrant that you would be looking at when the camera moved to where Robinson jumps off. Allegedly, Robinson jumps off the.
Yeah, he's innocent now. He's innocent.
I can't see this here because it's a little difficult. I'll zoom in as much as I can.
Don't zoom in because you'll make it blurry.
The clear identifying image of Tyler Robinson, you're going to see it on this screen. And again, this is at 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 27 seconds on Court TV's day 2 of the trial. Okay, so you're going to see here, correction, it's 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 30 seconds.
All right.
He's running across now. I don't know if you can see it because all he is a pixel. That's all he is a pixel. He's running across right now.
Well, there you go. He's innocent. Let's get him out of jail. Let's go.
See it. Saw the pixel.
That's it. That's the enhanced version that everybody wants to condemn this guy on. Again, I'm not saying one way or the other here. I am not saying one way or the other here. But that's the enhanced photo that everybody has seen in the courtroom. That's it. It was leaked by the state. who's on one of the state.
Fantastic work. He is correct. I fact checked that. We looked at it. We saw them go back and forth.
Candace fact checked it.
And sure enough,
Hold up. Candace fact checked it, y'all. Candace fact checked it. You might as well just say that your teenager fact checked it. You might as well say your teenager is checking nuclear physics. Okay, my toddler checked it. Ma'am, ma'am, that is the most trust me bro sentence you could make. Okay, fine. There we go. Let's go ahead and let Tyler go because Candace fact checked it and she saw a pixel, y'all, a pixel. Now, mind you, this is the same Candace that did not know that Challenger had dual pipes. And matter of fact, I'm not gonna let that go. That's gonna become my Egyptian plane. So here it is right here. It's got dual pipes on it. Candace checking something, that guarantees that you need to go check it. If Candace checks it, you need to go ahead. Don't let her do your taxes because you will be going to jail. All right, let's get done with this, man. Stop playing, Jason.
For the public, that blur that you just saw. Now, granted, obviously, we're looking at a video of a video, but that's the video. That's it. And 12. It's born of 12.4.
A video of a video.
Yourself on day 2 of the trial.
Oh my gosh.
And you can see it's still blurry. There was nothing identifying about Tyler Robinson, but that's not why Erica asked the influencers to come, right? She didn't ask the influencers to come to demonstrate the truth and tell us about what they saw. So here is Benny Johnson's reaction to the video. Take a listen.
We're outside of the 4th District Courthouse here in Utah, the Charlie Kirk.
That's not the video they're referring to.
And witnessed everything, and you have to hear this because it was devastating what we watched. And the judge ruled that you can't see the high definition quality video 4K of Tyler Robinson committing murder of Charlie Kirk. But we saw it, and they played it on giant screens inside of the courthouse.
Right.
You can see clearly Tyler Robinson's face. You can see crystal clear the license plate number on his vehicle, his movements on the rooftop. You can time it up to when Charlie Kirk was murdered. And what you also couldn't see was what happened inside of the courthouse. Erica Kirk was sobbing in the arms of her mother-in-law, Charlie's mother. Mrs. Kirk, feet away, is Tyler Robinson, pale, sallow, bony, emaciated, staring at the floor the whole time, twitching and looking straight ahead, refuses to watch the video, refuses to make eye contact with the family. Emotional day. The judge played all 20 minutes of the high definition security footage, and the whole courthouse gasped when it was over. It was really tough to watch. The prosecution has a demonstrable, overwhelming case. They said that multiple times. The defense has nothing. They asked minutiae questions about DNA evidence, but the judge was just chewing them along as we get to this 4K video reveal that will eventually be made public. It's already a case that is overwhelming against Tyler Robinson, but once you see this video, you will cast out all of the demons that have been attacking the Kirk family. It has been one of the most grotesque demonic evils that have been visited upon innocent people. It's happened to this beautiful family. Once you see all of the evidence that we saw today, it's over. And that's what the lawyer said today. Please pray. Erica Kirk asked us to do this. Pray for a speedy trial. We have a right to a speedy trial here in our Constitution. We don't have to wait years in order to get to a trial phase here. We want justice to be done. Justice has to be done in this case and done immediately. So please pray for the Kirks. They've been through enough. Time for justice for the widow. And just a word to all the Christians out there. The Bible calls us in the Old Testament and the New Testament to defend the widow, to defend the orphans, to provide for her and to stand up for her. And so be a Christian today. Be upright. Please pray for justice in this case and a speedy trial. Thank you. God bless you.
So one of the things I noticed is the video that Benny Johnson is referring to, and I could be wrong, so please make sure you let me know if I'm wrong. Benny Johnson is referring to the video that was played after day 5. It was in the afternoon after court had been closed. They showed that video. That's the video that everybody, Graham and Brandon Tatum and everybody else was saying, we just saw Tyler Robinson delete Charlie Kirk. That's the video they're talking about. This is not the video that Candace is referring to. That's not the video that they're referring to. So she's either A, again, duplicitous. You're going to have to start wondering, why is it that she keeps messing this up? Because the video that Benny Johnson is referring to, again, feel free to let me know if I'm wrong, that was on Friday afternoon after court was over. They showed a video after everything was done. That's the video he's referring to, not the video that she just showed you. Just something to think about. Because even in that, like that video that they showed you and that Candace showed you, it didn't show the car. And Benny is clearly talking about the car in that video. So either something is wrong. Those are not the same videos.
I don't. It's so shameless and grotesque and dishonest. And
You
the
are.
amount of
You
money
are.
being spent on this for these emotional assets to come out and wax poetic and then not realize they made a mistake, and now they're all kind of backtracking, being like, oh no, it doesn't actually show him get shot, but it shows him getting into the prone position, and oh, they didn't realize that they had no idea when they all started making these videos to cover up the minutia of the DNA evidence. They were talking about the DNA evidence. Don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to the video that we're telling you was exclusively shown to us, which is, it's crazy, but it was so clear at the very end of day 5, they showed the influencers.
Right.
4K HD, perfectly clear. Everyone else was spending 9 hours a day watching every day of the hearing, but they waited till the end to give this gift to the same influencers who have been trying to help the government wage a war against our minds. This is a psychological operation. It is failing. It is, like I said, requiring an unbelievable amount of money. And now I get why they had to file for FARA, right? Like, I mean, people are getting paid. There is no other explanation for how people could lie like this. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at Benny Johnson. I've never had an issue with Benny Johnson. This gives me an issue with Benny Johnson. How do you lie like that? All of the influencers who came out and
Oh,
lied,
my.
this word overwhelming. The reason why they do that sort of repetition, just so you guys understand, is because it's proven effective in the past. It used to work. How many of you guys watching this right now did actually lock down at home and believe that you were going to die from COVID? Wear a mask. 6 feet social distancing. The evidence is overwhelming against Tyler Robinson. They have shown, right, over the course of many decades, that these sorts of psychological operations work. If you repeat something enough times, it can become true for some people, even if it defies common sense.
Wouldn't that have been better for you, though, Candace, to go so that you could actually see it yourself rather than watching it on court TV? And then you would have been there. You would have seen exactly what, or not have seen exactly what, Benny Johnson and Graham Allen and everybody else saw. Why didn't you go? And then you would actually have this knowledge firsthand, not secondary hand, because it sounded like you didn't get any more perspective than we did, and we watched it right here from the comfort of our own homes. Like, why were you not there if this is so important to you? If seeing Tyler Robinson walk out free is such a pinnacle of your life, why were you not there to support him? Please, please, please do not lie to me about safety. Do not lie to me about any of that foolishness. Don't do it. If it was so important to you, because you knew when the trial was coming, when you booked your trip to Spain. So that was not the case. So don't do that thing. Don't lie. But you could have been there, and then you could have answered all of these questions firsthand. You would have said, I saw it, not I'm looking at a picture of a video. You would have seen it yourself. Just wonder if it's so important to you, though, so important to you.
Like I said, I was willing to concede points. Like, I've been investigating. It's possible we got something. Nothing that they presented. In fact, the contrary was presented. It's not,
Baby.
No, it's not minute when they're talking about the DNA.
Baby, they just told you that a bullet killed him. Like, see, I'm 100% confident Candace doesn't listen to Candace. I don't know how that works, but I don't think she even listens to her own self. Baby, you said that the exploding microphone, they just told you was a bullet. That alone, you're wrong. If nothing else, if you're right about everything else, which you're not, you would be wrong about that, which seems to be a big deal, by the way. I don't think this woman listens to her own self. I don't even know that's possible. I don't know, man. I'm going to have to ask my kids. How do y'all not listen to yourself? I understand how you don't listen to me sometimes, your kids. But how do you not listen to yourself? That's crazy work. And she does this all the time. So it's not a one-off. She really, truly doesn't listen to herself. Or she's just outright lying.
Not minute when the ATF is saying that the most degraded sample was Tyler Robinson's on not the trigger, or not clear if it's the trigger or the trigger cover.
We don't know that, though.
That is a crucial detail.
Trigger of what? Trigger of the exploding microphone? The microphone exploding device? Like what? What? Trigger what?
Lance Twiggs is not being considered a suspect. When his DNA is on everything, more of his DNA than Tyler's on the gun. That requires a logical explanation, not a unit of influencers that are taking money trying to convince us of the opposite.
Because you're not taking any money.
It's a war for your mind. I think you understand that. And they put me on trial in a variety of ways. I don't actually care because I'm built for this. I am not going to watch Charlie Kirk, my friend, be assassinated in broad daylight, watch everyone turn their back on him for money, and sit back idly and allow it to still go. That doesn't work for me. And actually, I am so rested right now and so ready for war that the last 9-10 months was basically me feeling weakened having watched that. in a state of mourning and feeling like every day I was just sort of coming up for air.
You stay on
They're not gonna
vacation,
like
though.
what comes next, because I'm 100% ready for it. And one of the biggest bombshells, which we're going to cover when we get back from a break, I know we're over time, but we got to do it, is Ben Shapiro's admission. We'll be right back. All right, you guys,
She is ready. She is ready for war, y'all. That girl said, I'm ready to war. I'm ready for war. I got my little blue outfit on. I'm ready to kick some butt and take some names. Candace, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Let's go.
Is evident that he's being betrayed every single day. I can't wait to get into Turning Point USA and the crash out they had online. Andrew Colvett finally coming up to the surface. Deceitful, the Judas, no question. My dream was on point about who he is, and everyone is now seeing his character. So much so that Ben Shapiro actually ventured out to tell the truth about him and Charlie's relationship, while Andrew really was going to say that Charlie and Ben were friends. It is actually one of the markers for me that something was very wrong was how instantly involved Ben Shapiro was. I said this on the show. I said, Ben Shapiro is acting really weird. He never liked Charlie. Charlie never liked him. This is a known fact. Anybody who knows Charlie Kirk knows that he did not like Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro attempted to stop Charlie from rising. It's just a fact. Like everybody else, when he began his career, ooh, that's cool. It's Ben Shapiro. I'd love to work with him. And then you find out about Ben Shapiro's character and how he operates behind the scenes to stop people. Just like Megyn Kelly has had that experience recently. It is just who Ben is. It's how he was raised. And apparently it has lots to do with his father, who controls accounts and uses pen names to write nice stuff about his son and follows him wherever he works. There is a psychopathology there without question. Now, I kept saying that I don't know how, but I do feel that somehow Ben Shapiro was tied up in this. I'll pick up the bloody mic. He races to give $1 million. His company is suffering, but he's giving $1 million, Turning Point USA. Erica allows him to open despite what she knows, which is that her husband didn't like this guy at AmFest. What is going on here? What is actually happening here? Then there was this really strange phone call that I had with Matt Walsh, and I did not know that Ben Shapiro was in town on this date when I had the phone call. I'll talk about that another time because we are pressed for time, but I explained to my team, I made it clear to them on that December day that I just feel like Daily Wire is somehow more involved in this, and I don't really know how. Well, guess what? The answer arrived. Ben Shapiro shared something that is stunning. It is crazy. When we left, we were talking about this car ride. Something is not right about this car ride to the hospital, which Brian Harpole is suing me over and using Ben Shapiro's lawyers and Ben Shapiro's brother-in-law to do so. Right? Ben Shapiro's lawyers who have been suing me and my family for years because he can't earn, he has to steal. And the courts is a great way to do that. Violations. You violated a non-disparagement. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you into bankruptcy. You can't win without stealing. Well, Ben Shapiro made this admission, which was shocking, about what took place in that very short car ride, approximate 7-minute car ride to the hospital after Charlie got hit. Ben Shapiro was receiving live updates from somebody in that vehicle. Take a listen.
I remember where I was when all this was happening. I was in Los Angeles. I had sort of a breakfast/lunch meeting with somebody. And I got the news that Charlie had been shot, and my security was on the phone with Charlie's security because nobody knew what the hell was going on. Well, Charlie was still in the back of the car, and we were sort of getting updates along the way. There's visual timelines that show Charlie's body being carried to a vehicle within minutes of being shot. Apparently, he was still alive at the time. Again, I know that only because my security was talking to his security in the car.
Because that's... Okay, never mind. Just leave it alone, Jason.
Somebody make that make sense.
It's very easy.
You're going to have to become a conspiracy theorist to make that make sense. This is
No.
the enemy of Charlie Kirk.
Nope. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist at all. Because if conspiracy theorist is what you are, Candace, nobody needs to become retarded. Nobody needs to become retarded. You're missing the fact that the communication line is probably and more likely something that everybody has, since that team, as well as Ben Shapiro's team and your team and others, need to know that, hey, an event happened, be on the lookout and keep an eye on your principal, keep an eye on your person, because we just dealt with an issue with our person. It's not hard to believe. It's not a conspiracy. It's just, you know what? A security team speak to one another. Why would they not? Is something you mean to tell me that an event happens in Atlanta, a catastrophic event, and they wouldn't let the metro area police forces also know? If it's big enough, you don't think they would let the Southeast know or around the nation know that something big has happened? You don't think that would happen, and you would think that it was some kind of conspiracy? See, that's because you're retarded.
Is telling you that he was receiving live updates during 7 minutes, critical minutes, while Charlie was bleeding in the back seat while Brian Harpole, let's go back and actually show our diagram. Brian Harpole stipulates that it couldn't have been him that was providing those updates because he was just packing like 40 feet of gauze into Charlie's neck. And it couldn't have been Rick Cutler because Rick Cutler had him. He had the tattoo. He was holding his brother. He saw the tattoo with two hands because the door was wide open because Charlie's so tall he was hanging out. And there's evidence of that because they caught a police tail. Then we have Frank Turek. Now, his story, I will say, is a little complicated. We are told he was praying in the backseat, but also Frank says that he started CPR, but Brian Harpole says no such thing took place because CPR would have been the wrong thing to do while he was bleeding. Gets a little, Frank Turek is an option, for sure. Yeah, Frank Turek is an option of someone who could have been statusing Ben Shapiro's security during this time. We've got Dan Flood and Justin Davis. Justin Davis was driving upwards to 100 miles per hour. I'm going to say he didn't phone Ben Shapiro's or answer the phone call of Ben Shapiro's security to update him because he was focused on the road. That would make the most sense. If the story that Brian Harpole told was true, that leaves us with Dan Flood. Either Dan Flood or Frank Turek were providing updates. But it couldn't have been Frank Turek. I'm sorry, I've lost my mind. Frank Turek left his kids on FaceTime. I'm so sorry. We're playing Guess Who right now. Frank Turek's down. He's down. Remember, his phone, he just didn't even realize while he was praying out loud, his kids were just left on the phone on FaceTime because that's what he was doing. So it can't be Frank. You're down. Bye-bye, Brian. Bye-bye, Rick Cutler. Justin and Dan? In this dark game of Guess Who? Which one of you guys called 911? Because they've never said who called 911 because the 911 calls that were released show that neither of them called 911. Is there a missing 911 call? Why would we not have it? That's public information. Who called 911? Someone called 911 and then called Ben's security or answered Ben's security's call and provided updates.
So one of the things that she thinks and again, in the midst of the fog of war, words kind of get weird. So somebody said that they were on the phone. Sure. That could mean that they picked up their phone and dialed the phone. Absolutely. That is an option. But it could also mean that they are on the radio, the walkie-talkie, and they're communicating with the other teams, letting people know. Now, it could be that they just call, like pick up the phone and call too. But more than likely, they probably press their little button and allow them to speak to another team and let them know something happened with our principal. Please keep an eye on your own principal. It's really not that hard. It's really not. But I would guess, this is my question, if you're a Cantifa member and you're like trying, chomping at the bit, what does she want us to believe from here? Okay, fine. What is it that you want to, what is it that you're trying to put into the discussion? So they reached out to Ben Shapiro's team. They're the same team that they share. What do you want them to do? So what are you trying to posture? Tell us what you're trying to put out there. Are you trying to say that what she's trying to put out there? That Ben Shapiro's involved in the deletion of Charlie Kirk, and they're letting them know, congratulations, we got him. That's what she's trying to put out there. And if not, then what is she trying to do? But see, this is the part that the smooth brain retardedness that Candace, and I have not missed this at all. I am so glad. I'm going to let y'all know right now, we will not be coming back this week. I'm going to let you know that, so don't even worry about it. This is that smooth brain retardedness that Candace puts out there, because just because you have a question doesn't mean that the question is real. It doesn't mean that it's real. It just means that you have a question. And depending on the retarded level or the stupid level, it might mean that you have no IQ. It might mean that your IQ is a little bit warmer than ice water or whatever, room temperature. But that's what we're looking at. Let's get done with this. Let's get done.
Knew what was happening before the rest of the world found out around 12:38 p.m. By the time that video began making the rounds, it was 12:38 p.m. If you go back and check on X, Ben knew sooner. Because someone in that car informed his security that Charlie had been hit. Rather than focusing on the chaos of trying to save Charlie's life, they said, you know what? 911 can wait. Ben needs an update right now.
See, there you go. Nobody said that.
I know what my gut is telling me about Charlie's assassination.
Your gut is telling you that you need a laxative. This town needs an enema. Candace, that's what your gut is telling you. You need to drink more water. You need more fiber. But ma'am, You just literally are making up fan fiction in 4K. This is some crazy work.
Here on the fact that I believe Israel is involved. And
Oh, Israel is back.
That there is something very dark about the history of Ben Shapiro, the way that he stalks and obsesses. I've made it clear on this show that it's getting to a point when you get fired from a company and for 2.5 years they stalk you via the court system, there's something that starts to feel dangerous about it. And I've been saying he's too close to this situation. Ben is just too close to this situation.
If that were the case, then, if that were the case, Candace, if everybody and their cousin is out after you, paranoia must be a part of narcissism, because she definitely got main character syndrome. Candace, just think about it. If Ben Shapiro wanted to delete you, why did he not delete you instead of Charlie Kirk? If Israel wanted to delete anybody, why would they delete Charlie and not you? This doesn't make sense. And why are you footloose and fancy free? You just came from Spain. You were in Rome earlier. You were in Russia recently. But you have no problem traveling abroad. None whatsoever. You're not harassed. You're not harassed at TSA. You get the little TSA pre-check. You walk on through. Customs is not stopping you. But you want us to believe that a sliver of land 9 time zones away, the size of New Jersey, they put away Charlie Kirk, but they let you just keep bebopping around here. Okay, got you. Oh, France, they letting you bebop around too. Okay, got you. It makes perfect sense. No argument there. Perfect logic. I got it. Perfect logic. That makes all the sense. Perfect. I got it.
And the panic of which a bunch of influencers then tried to come out and persuade the public that this was normal, that they were all receiving that they're lying through their teeth. Tim Pool is lying through his teeth. He did not receive updates from somebody in that car about Charlie's status. Jeremy Boring, who just wanted to insert himself, jumped in and tried to pretend that it was my security that was getting those updates. I confirmed that is a lie. They said they were not on the phone with anybody in that car during those crucial minutes.
On the phone. They were not on the phone.
Through his teeth. So who on Ben's IDF Israeli Mossad security apparatus,
wow,
former IDF, was receiving updates about Charlie's condition and why? And who was Ben Shapiro at lunch with? In fact, I'd like to know so much that if somebody can provide evidence of who he was at lunch with, because I have a hunch of who he was with in LA when this happened, I will put up $10,000 bounty on that piece of information.
Girl, bye.
Tips at CandaceOwens.com. 10,000 bounty. I just want to know who he was at lunch with. I don't like this. I know what my gut has told me about the situation from the moment that it took place. I know what beyond my gut and beyond my dreams, the statement from Andrew Colbert, it was supposed to be you. Was it?
The hubris here is going to be studied by science. I'm telling you right now, if humanity lasts another 50 years, there will be scientists that'll be born that will be studying the insanity that is Candace Owens. Like, they will be studying this. Woo. Okay, leave it alone, Jason. Just stop. This is craziness.
Was it?
No, it's madness.
Is it fair to ask if it's plausible that when Charlie was taken to the Hamptons, the phone call no one wants to address from Bibi Netanyahu, is it fair to ask the question if it was literally supposed to be me who was supposed to be back on tour with Charlie? Did he say no to killing Candace Owens?
Oh my gosh.
Become a liability because he said no. What did Charlie turn down?
Oh my gosh.
While Erica was there. Again, the people that were present don't even want to acknowledge the phone call. I only got an acknowledgement that it happened from Erica in person, who then said, oh, he was just following up on a letter that Charlie wrote in May. Really? Bill Ackman's house, she put Bibi Netanyahu on the phone? And he's just like, hey, I got your letter. I want to talk about that letter from months ago. This feels like a good time. I don't buy it, guys.
Nobody cares.
Than we could ever imagine. I think Aaron Coleman put it in the correct terms when he said Charlie said no to something way deeper and darker, to the Prince of Darkness himself.
Wow.
We're going to find out more. I'm on top of that car. Do not stop investigating, okay? All of these side-tracking stuff, these reports coming out, trying to say this person, oh, even looking into this makes you put a target on. Ignore the noise. Ignore the influencers. They have chosen a side, okay? They have made a decision to tell their souls And their
This is
reward for that,
wild.
selling your soul will be eternal. Okay? Ain't the reward you want, but it will be eternal. Eternal damnation is a reward of sorts, I suppose.
Wow.
Stay focused on this investigation. We will have so much more this week in terms of where we left off on what was going on in that car. We got an unbelievable tip about that piece, which we describe as looking like cardboard that was in the back. I believe this is what has caused the mass panic, the reports, the influencers attacking, naming me. It is meant to be a distraction, but I feel fortified right now. And I need the rest of you guys to as well. I need everybody to be focused, go max, get more information, keep pressing. They're already going to allow the trial to go through. Good. We will never get an opportunity to understand what rules over us than right now. Like that, this is the biggest opportunity for us to really stare this beast in the face. Everything
You
is
do
being
it. You
exposed,
stare that beast in the
just
face, Candace.
as Charlie expected.
You do
Said his
it.
death would be associated with a wider awakening. And let me tell you right now, my eyes are wide open.
They are wide open.
Keep them wide open. Keep sending
That's
tweets.
right.
Again, I am looking for specific information regarding the timing of when the K9 units were around. I know they were eventually sent on their way. They were not allowed to enter the courtyard. That also became clear in testimony that they immediately closed the courtyard off to anybody but the feds. The FBI took over that region, so we can now reasonably assume that the paver was telling the truth when he said that the FBI made the call, because only the FBI was allowed to make calls about what was going on in the courtyard. The FBI then kept the bomb dogs away from the courtyard. The FBI is evidently to me, in my opinion, engaged in a massive cover-up.
To her.
I will tell you that I had a
There we
sense
go.
immediately that Charlie was betrayed on September 10th immediately.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I also had a sense they wouldn't get away with it. And I
Right.
wanted to leave you with that
You don't let
optimistic
them
note, because we're not going to have, maybe we have time today to get into comments. I don't know. We
No,
will take
we're not
a
gonna-
brief break here, and we'll come right back.
She's going
and
to
do
take the
comments.
hit. She's going to take the hit of that
All right,
snow.
guys, I recently announced that my family is growing. I feel like it's always growing, and we are, of course, expecting another .net/Owens. The influencers are the mockingbird media of our day. Like
Right.
CIA,
The
Mockingbird,
Mockingjays.
everyone's saying
Shout out to the
something. I see
Mockingjays.
that now, but it's just not working. So I guess we're going to.
So what are you, Candace? What are you? Are you not an influencer? Are you limiting your own position? Because you are an influencer just like anybody else. I'm just saying, just want to make sure I put that out there.
To a point where, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? No one believing them. They're spending a ridiculous amount of money on influencers. They've lost the crowd because they don't have the truth behind them. It's going to be interesting to see. Comments from today's episode. Melissa writes, I don't care what anyone says. The wait will be worth it. Welcome back from vacation, Candace. I can't wait to listen to this episode. I am wearing my Strike a Pose hoodie while tuning in tonight. Love you, Candace, and the team, and thank you for all that you've done. The fact that he texted, quote, some hate can't be negotiated out. People don't speak like that. It's ironic AF that Charlie was negotiating with Bobo, I mean BB, and couldn't be negotiated into supporting Israel any longer. I love you, Candace. Thank you so much, and I totally agree with you. It just reads to me like when you're new to a language and you're too formal, that's what it sounds like to me. And like I said, we have so much more to unpack this week, going back to the investigation. I do think some heads are going to roll. We will see. Salmon writes, we are Charlie, indeed. New 2L writes, don't hold back, Candace. You're the last voice that he's got. Go Max Girl. I'm not. It's actually all of you guys around the world too. It's a chorus now, and that's their problem. Is I may have been
that's a
maybe
chorus.
the loudest because it mattered deeply to me, but I am certainly not alone, and I appreciate you guys for that. Amy Riddle writes, I'm from New Zealand. I have a first-class honors law degree and accounting degree, so I am not stupid. I have yet to see any clear evidence, just screenshots and hearsay. But what I do see is highly suspicious behavior from Turning Point USA and Erica. I cannot wait to get into Blake Neff not remembering a lot of important things regarding what he did on the morning of September 10th and the evening of September 10th. That's interesting. We're going to get into Turning Point falling apart tomorrow and their blatant lies. Crazy.
Wow.
The
Falling
covering that's
apart.
going on. I very much sense that they are nervous and
They're
it feels
nervous.
like back against the wall, lashing
Back
out.
against the wall.
Yeah, I will leave it at that. And it's incredible what he admitted to or didn't admit to. Tarmac hug. It's all back on the table, ladies and gentlemen. Blatant writes, greetings, beautiful people. Christos, Vincit, Christos, Regnat, Christos, Imperat. Christ conquers, Christ reigns, and Christ commands. And I really need to work on my Latin. Sarah D. writes, found an Australian article
Understatement.
reporting police were investigating an accomplice, but that angle disappeared. Some other stuff disappeared too. There was some other stunning testimony that we're going to get in tomorrow. Now Andrew Colbert is reviving it, likely due to growing support for Tyler Robinson, throwing Lance Twiggs to the Wolves. Yeah, I saw that too. They're like, well, what do you guys mean? Like, do you think that maybe Lance Twiggs... Yeah, we've been saying for a long time that Lance Twiggs is a federal asset. Like, why are you guys acting like all you guys kept saying was, oh, they dreamed it. Like, we have not spent hours upon hours upon hours for serious research that's been happening. People driving down to locations, speaking to people. Amazingly, Diligent Dennison went and spoke.
Why have you not, Candace? That's the $30,000 question. Why are you relying on other people to quote unquote do your research and then you piggyback off of it, and shout out Dennison, but you don't realize that Paramount Tactical did a whole 3D model, drones and everything of the location. But okay, never mind.
To the waiter down in Panguitch. More is going to be coming out about that. And then they just keep pretending like it's all a joke. Like they were just going to keep this up and feed slop. Oh, Candace is Miss Cleo. She dreamed it. Oh,
She's really offended by that dream thing. She's super offended by people calling her out about dreams. Because this is like the third time, if not the fourth time, she's mentioned dreams. And nobody's calling her out about the dream part, but she keeps bringing it up. Have y'all heard that? This is easily the third time, maybe fourth, that she keeps bringing it up. She's extremely offended at people calling her out about the dream.
Fun of herself regarding thunder and lightning. See, she's dumb.
See?
I really think that was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Who's making these decisions in the boardroom? Like, who's the idiot that thinks that that is going to be sufficient enough to stop this investigation? I told you guys from the very beginning. Charlie went out and a light bulb came on. Dreams he was having in 2018 that were vivid. I started having vivid dreams right after he.
Of course you did.
No, I'm not ashamed of them. Keep playing the clips.
Of course you did.
Playing the clips.
She's offended. She is very offended that people are mocking her dreams. She's very offended that people call her out because she didn't know that thunder and lightning are related. She's very offended by the fact that she has inserted herself into Charlie Kirk and this whole light flickering story. She's offended that people keep calling her out about it. She's mad. She is big mad. Shout out to Candace.
Because this feels so much bigger right now. It's definitely bigger than me. It's as big as Charlie predicted it, like I said. Cheryl Wells writes, my mom died this past Christmas Eve and was a strong supporter of Israel. Watching this, I hope in heaven that she finally knows. Thank you for all that you do. Yeah, I think about that sometimes too. People who just genuinely didn't understand how evil that nation is.
Wow.
And now just so much is being revealed, and it's for them. They don't know how to put the toothpaste back in the tube. Amara Musa writes, you can't do CPR on a car seat without a backboard. Yep, we mentioned that. The order should have been call 911 and stop bleeding, stabilize the neck. Anything else is criminal medical malpractice. Did the team have EMT licenses? If so, we can report them to the licensing board. I think somebody emailed me and said they dug up Brian's and it was from like 1996 and that he should have had one in the state of Utah. And we're looking into it. I don't know if any of that's true, but I would agree with you. Obviously, I'm being sued for saying that what they did was incompetent. And now when you add a call to Ben Shapiro's security team in those critical moments, I think I have a pretty strong case that it was incompetent, what they did. Just looking at the photos of how they didn't hold his neck at all, because I think they were trying to hold his shirt. Again, more on that this week. Truth Prevail writes, missed you the past 2 weeks. If the trial is televised, you should do a live stream with Barron. There was so much in the prelim that screamed slop, like how the kid with the limp switched legs. Lance is sus, and he seems like an MK Ultra op. Keep going, Max. I personally think that Lance is blackmailed. Based on the conversations I've had about Lance, he was into some weird internet stuff. Easy person to blackmail. And to get himself out of something, he threw in Tyler Robinson. That's my opinion. I do believe that Tyler Robinson was around campus on that day. I do believe he was at the Dairy Queen, that he was depositing clothes, which could have been his part. I don't know, maybe Lance told him to do that, showing up for his boyfriend, all of that.
So Lance is the primary suspect in this story.
Come out in the trial if they allow the trial to go forward for the next 5 years. That's what trials take. That's going to be the length of this trial, right? And what I mean by that is I believe the judge will grant it. But what I am wondering is, are they going to take Tyler out? What is this weird?
It's funny because I see somebody mention about the CPR. And remember, Candace is the one that was saying that they were doing CPR on Sean Ryan's show. She's the one that said it. That why did they not do CPR? And Sean Ryan said, wait, can you do CPR? Like, he was the one acting like he didn't know what was going on. But now all of a sudden, this is just crazy work, man. Leave it alone, man. Let's go.
They're now trying. I think Erica's life, if there's ever any danger toward Erica's life, it's not on the basis of what I've said. It's on the basis of what they're now putting out as a narrative. This whole idea. I have a bad feeling about that. We're going to talk about more of that tomorrow, but I want to be very clear, as I always have been.
I'm sure you
I don't
are.
want any harm to happen to Eric Kirk. I've never
I want her to stop that.
I don't even believe in the death penalty. I think the death penalty I've always maintained is just too easy for people who harm children. Like pedophile, they just get to go to sleep effectively, and people have to deal with the trauma of what they've done to them. That's just one example. So no, I have never called for Erica to be harmed. But the fact that they are trying to aggressively assert that narrative,
that is some wild work.
They try to harm Erica and then blame you. Like that's what it kind of seems like they're planting seeds for. Is that possible? Yeah, it is possible. Desperate feds, desperate measures. So if I was Erica, I wouldn't be trusting the people around me. I want my own security for sure. These people are dangerous. She knows that. I wouldn't want them to get desperate, and I think they are desperate, and they showed that this past week. So I will leave it at that. This person writes, nope, I think I read that. We are Charlie.
Please.
Got that. I want to make sure I read everybody's comments here. Oh, I think that was it. That's it. So if you would like to support our show,
We don't.
have merch available
We
on
don't.
our website.
We don't. We don't. Y'all, that was man, I do not miss that at all. I do not miss that one bit. Man, that was traumatic. Good gracious, man. That was traumatic. Wow. Candace is back in rare form again. She is back, and the Lord is going to do what he's going to do. He's going to do what he's going to do with Candace. So we just leave it in the Lord's hands. And that's the end of that one. I really, truly, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Shout out to SC Dog says, as Candace drew that red circle on the exhaust pipe to block out the other exhaust. Amen. Thank you so much. Like, like how do you do that, Candace? Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. Like, what are we supposed to take from this? The fact that you can't ascertain that there's dual pipes on this car. Like, what are we supposed to get from this, Candace? There's 2 pipes on there. Like, what are we doing? Shout out to SC Dog. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate you, Andrea. Thank you so much for the 2. Thank you, love, as well. Thank you, Mike. Always blessing. He's been a member for 6 months. I don't think we need the part that makes me look stupid. Yeah, that's why she stopped that video, because it did do that. It did. Thank you again, Misty, with the 2. I appreciate you, friend. This is a lie. The 4K was Friday, and no cameras were allowed Friday because of what was shown Thursday. Court TV did not have the camera Friday. I told you. I'm right there with you. Thank you, Jody, for the 5, and I agree with you. She's mixing the stories up, but again, like, Candace, why don't you go to the court? Why don't you go? Candace Owens always has a physical reaction when the Bible is mentioned. Christians nor Catholics react this way, but Satan does. No, and I agree with you right there. Thank you so much, SC Dog. Yeah, Candace is an interesting person. If you're a Cantifa member, you just go on and keep it. You just go and keep her. Shout out for sure. Thank you, Claire, with the 5. Australian. If Tyler is innocent, why didn't he or his parents stand up for him in court full of cameras and scream his innocence to the live stream? These people are dumb. Now, I don't know if you can get away with that, but unequivocally, why has his family not said anything? How did he get arrested if he didn't do it? That's what I want you to explain to me. Like, how did he get arrested? He went from his house chilling to now being caught all up in this. How did that work? That's the part I need to understand. Thank you so much for that, though. I appreciate it. And what do you say here, Jeepers with the 10? Regarding the exhaust, she is looking at the tip. The car on the carrier looks like it has a single tip. No, these are, I'll pull it back in. I'm sorry, move myself out of the way and move this out of the way. Let me finish reading this. Looks like it has a single tip. I believe it's a single tip with a split in the middle that you can't see from the side. No, it's definitely a decorative. He doesn't have 4 exhaust pipes. That is correct. Part of this is decorative. I'll give you that. No question about it. It's a dual exhaust with a decorative second pipe on both sides, but it's still there. That's the point that I'm making. So unless there's something I'm missing, that's where Candace is missing it, that there is a second pipe over on the far right side. And that's the part that, to me, I think is the most egregious. Like, Candace, like, you see it. And then on the video where she literally pulls the, let me pull this one in. I mean, on here, you literally put move this, bang. She literally put the circle on it. So there it is. Like, I mean, it's there. You put the circle on it. So she did that. So shout out for sure. Thank you so much. Or her team, rather. Her team did that. Shout out. Thank you so much. What do you say here, Mike, with the 10? She is going to be hunchback with all the weight of the conspiracies that she carries. No, you're 1,000% correct. Like, man, what is the deal? What is going on? And thank you so much, Blue Moon with the 5. Tell me she does not have a God complex and she is not a cult leader. Like, I don't know how you can get away with that, though. I mean, she is definitely, unequivocally, a cult leader. And it says this with the 5. If Tyler is convicted, he should be sentenced to live with her. He'll take himself out. Anna, that's the funniest thing I've read all day. That would be, no, I'm sorry, that would be cruel and unusual punishment. Anna, I don't think they would get away. He would probably sign up for the firing squad. He would probably say, no, put me in front of the firing squad. The rest of this is cruel and unusual punishment. But I think that's hilarious, though. Shout out. Reform has been a member for 8 months. Tim Pool said that his security got called, too. I mean, like, it's not a far reach for persons, or for rather security teams that are responsible for such delicate assets and principles, to reach out to people and say, hey, keep an eye. We just had an event with one of our principals. I don't understand why that's hard to understand. I don't get it. Thank you so much for being a member of Reform Chick for 8 months. What does Ruben say here? We are getting closer. LOL. We're getting closer to nothing new. Carolyn says this with a 10. Thanks for sharing. Great job as always. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. That was I said I thought Candace was going to come back and really crash out. I said I'm going to do a live stream. We haven't done this in a while. I know why we haven't done this in a while. That's all I can tell you. I know 100% why we don't do this anymore. Good gracious. Like, literally nothing new. Like, this has been 10 months, almost 11 months. And Candace, you are still in the exact same spot. Haven't even put it in drive. You're just in the same spot. That is crazy work. Yo, I thank y'all so much for that. That was a lot of fun. Closer to what? Closer to losing all sanity? Now that is true. Now that is true. I mean, she crashed out for sure. And I mean, and you know, she's probably on X, wreaking havoc, raising Cain over on X. Go ahead, girl, do it. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself all the way out. Y'all, thank y'all so much. Closer to a 5150. Yo, can we please? I don't know. We might even call a Baker's Act. We might need to call a Baker's Act on this thing. Like, this whole war, I don't like this war motif thing. I don't think we should be so flippant with that. And how she's talking about she going to go to war. Ma'am, please, go have a seat. Nobody, no, ma'am, please, go have a seat. All the seats, just go have them all. Just go have a seat. I don't like that war analogy. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We will not be doing that. But y'all, thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. That was that was traumatic. But we made it. We made it, y'all. We made it. What did Eternal say here with the 5? Your thoughts on the defense team not even acknowledging her existence? The defense team is serious. Now, I will say this. The defense 100% is fighting for Tyler Robinson. You're not going to beat those charges. Those men and women, whether you like Nestor, what's the guy, Bert? What's the other guy? Come on. What's the guy that was talking real slow? What's his name? Put his name in the chat. What's his name? Come on. What's that guy's name? Oh, gosh. What's that guy's name? Come on. You know who I'm talking about. Novak. There we go. Novak. They're fighting for Tyler Robinson's life. You cannot take that away from them. Whether you agree with them or not, you cannot say that they're not trying to get that man off or get him a lesser charge or whatever. They are fighting for him. And because they are fighting for Tyler Robinson, they're not playing with retarded stuff. They're not playing with stupid, ignorant, whack Timu Colombo investigations. They are dealing with the facts. And I don't think they're going to come in there with some crazy stuff, Ninja Turtles and Mormon bee cults and Egyptian planes. They're not going to come in there with that stuff. They're going to talk about stuff that's really, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and they're going to bring evidence. So again, I don't rock with them, but I'm at least give them their hat tip that they're trying their best. They're working hard for their client. You got to at least give them that. I don't think I think that's the right thing to do. If you were in jail or if you were being charged with something, you would want attorneys that are going to fight for you, and I think they're fighting for it. Now, that being the case, I don't know if they got a lot of leverage and a lot of movement, but they're not going to introduce insanity like this retarded stuff over here, exploding microphones, and why we're the security team on the phone with Ben Shapiro. They're not going to do that because that's going to waste their time, and they know that that's not going to get their client off because they're trying to get their client off. What do you say here? Thank you so much, Mike says this was the 10. I wish she would go to war against the government. You know what? I think a better question. Hold on. This is a question. I'm going to back this up. I'm going to take Eternal's question and Mike's question. I'm going to kind of put them together. I think a better question is, why is it that nobody from the government is pushing back on Candace Owens? That should cause you to be like, why is it that she can say some of the most ridiculous stuff and nobody bothers her? Why is that? Now, that could be a conspiracy. Why is it that she's allowed to just be out here just saying, just be reckless in 4K, and not one person, not anybody has pushed back on her, filed a charge against her, and opened up an investigation. FBI comes and FBI open up, boom, boom, boom. None of that stuff. Why is that? That should be something that makes you to say, what's going on? Why is it that she's allowed to just be so reckless and nobody says a word? Nobody's pushing back. Like, at this stage of the game, you mean to tell me nobody can sue her and stop her, sue her? Like, really ruin her day? We got Brian Harpole and all the judges getting recused. We got France, and they just sitting there. I don't even know I forgot about the French case. Really? Nobody? That's the thing that makes me wonder. Made me wonder, what's going on here? Not a single mention of the Macrons. Nope. Yeah, I mean, truth be told, YouTube really truly has lost the moral high ground as it relates to disinformation, misinformation, because Candace Owens is allowed to be on stream. The fact, literally, they have no room to say anything about any content creators, in my opinion. And I'm on YouTube. But the stuff that they allow her to do is just crazy work. All right, y'all, let's get out of here. It is a beautiful day. It's been a great day. Thank y'all so much. Tomorrow, I got Ryan Murrow coming on. We're going to talk. We might talk about Candace. We might talk about the Tyler Robinson case. We'll see. It'll be tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And Thursday, we got the Beard Lawyer coming back on. We're going to unpack the Tyler Robinson case, and we'll probably do some body cam or sovereign citizen bingo. We might do that. So we got a lot of stuff, fun stuff planned this week. But I want to say thank you to everybody, to the moderators. Thank you to everybody who supported the channel through super chats, new memberships, all that kind of good jazz. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who jumped into the best live chat on the internet. It means a lot. I really do appreciate it. What am I supposed to talk about the exhaust? What you want me to say? Tell me what you want me to say. I'm looking at the exhaust pipes right here. Tell me what you want me to say. Tell me what to say, my dude. I'm gonna give you a second. What you got, my brother? I'm giving you a second, man. Since I was foul to you earlier, I'm trying not to be petty, trying to get be decent, be a nice person today. I'm gonna give you a few seconds before I get ready to roll out of here. Show both at the same time. How can I show both at the same time? Is there something I'm supposed to do? I can do that, and then I can do that. What do you want me to do? Okay. Is that all right? What else? I mean, what else, my dude? I showed you the tailpipes. And again, she lied about it. Again, in 4K. She lied. It looked like one has quad and one has dual exhaust. They both have the same thing. It's got two pipes right there, and there's two pipes hidden under here. This one right here, albeit it's a video, you can see that there's two pipes right there, and there's two pipes right here. What are we missing? I don't have the one from the parking garage at the moment. I'm trying to be nice to you since you said I was being foul to you earlier. All right, here it is. You know what? The Lord is being gracious to you. Clearly, here we go. Bang, bang, bang. There it is. What am I missing? Does that satisfy you? I see dual pipes. What are we missing? Sir, show the one from the parking. Here it is. The day of the pow pow. There it is right there. Well, what am I missing? Again, since I was foul to you earlier, trying to be a little less foul. There's quad pipes. There's quad pipes on this. There's two right here, and there's two right here. Like, what are we missing? The other doesn't have that? Okay. All right, well, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you then. Okay, fine. Here we go. Problem solved, and go, pick it outside the court and tell Tyler Robinson he needs to be free. I guess. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, okay. All right, well, there you go. Problem solved. There's okay. I guess so, man. I don't know what to do. Show the clear one. I don't know what else to tell you, my dude. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm literally pulling these videos up. It's the same car, man. I mean, we seem to be straining at a gnat. And as Jesus said, you strain at a gnat and swallow an entire camel. So we're straining a gnat about whether or not we're straining at a gnat about this when it's very clear that is the tailpipe. It's very clear, as you can see right here, actually, you can see before she puts on the circle, you can see that there's 4 tailpipes. You can see that right there. I don't know what else you want. I don't know what you need. I mean, it just seems, why you show the blurry one on the tow truck? Because I was able to see the back of it. Here's a clear picture. Does that satisfy you? So now I'm just wondering. I'm giving you a second because you said I was foul to you earlier, and I was being foul. That's true. But now I put it up there now. What else do you need? I'm just asking a question. I guess because I put this picture up because I got the tailpipe picture. The other angle, sir. How about this one? Because I did give you the option. To email management. You're welcome to come on. And we can talk about this. We can look at it. I mean, if we want to really split hairs and say, oh, well, I don't see the second set of pipes, therefore that's not him. I mean, you're welcome to come on and we can discuss this. I don't know what else to do. I really don't. I'm literally showing you the tailpipes. You see me scanning through here to get this picture, and I guess I'm not doing enough for you. And it just seems like, again, like this is what Christ was talking about. Like you strain at a gnat about tailpipe when you can clearly see, even from this picture, that there's 2 sets of tailpipes. You can see this from this picture. There's no reason to get into the weeds about diameter and which ones are decorative and so forth. You can clearly see that grasping at exhaust pipes is crazy. But you can clearly see that. So I don't really know where you're going with this. I don't know what your angle is. I mean, it's there. And I'm doing this in real time. So I pulled this up when you showed, merciful Lord, you showed another picture where you can see it better, not this one. The better one was the one where she had the circle on it and it covered the back exhaust. I'm not understanding what else you want. This is what I'm going to do. Here, because you seem to have an issue with me, and that's fine. Sometimes I have an issue with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link for you right there. All you got to do is click on the link. What I ask everybody to do when they do that is they must have their camera on. They cannot use profanity, and they must stay on topic. So what we're talking about today is the exhaust on this vehicle. All you got to do is click the link and come on. Now, the other issue is when I make the offer for you to come on, I'm asking you to come on. So therefore, I'm going to ask that you go ahead and click that link and jump on so that we can go ahead and iron this out. Because I don't fully understand what your issue is, but I want to make sure I understand. I'm trying to be gracious to you. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and click that link. And then if not, then I'll go ahead and remove you from the stream. And then you can just email management when you want to come back. That'll be great either way. So I'm going to put that out there for you. Give you a second. Every now and then we got to email management. Every now and then, we got to let them email management. They can email management every now and then. All right. All right. I'm looking to see what you emailed me. I think SC Dog said they emailed me something. Oh, where'd you send this? Eclectic. Oh, okay. Let me look over here. Eclectic, where'd you send it? Because I don't see it. I'm sorry. Oh, got it right here. Okay, this is a pretty good picture too. Let me pull this one in. All right, so this is a pretty good picture from the court, from KSL. And you can see pretty clearly that those are dual pipes right there. I don't know what else is missing. So, well, okay, not a problem. So what happens here, Barno, 2 times? I'm going to go ahead and remove you from the chat. Just email me when you want to come on, and we'll let you back on. It's funny, you're with your family, but you're like texting. You're like involved in everything. So I'll go ahead and remove you from here, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, brother. And just email me when you want to come back, and we'll gladly let you come back in. Because when I make the offer and, go against my principles and actually make the offer, I do really want you to come on. So next time, don't worry about it. Just email me when you want to come back. Y'all can say goodbye to Barno. For sure. Just say y'all can say goodnight to him. If I make the offer and I'm going against my principles, that's against what I said, that, hey, I'm going to have you come on so you can clarify something, but you busy talk with your family, then why don't you talk to your family then? Why are you over here arguing with me about tailpipes? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're literally straining at a gnat, you're straining at a tailpipe, but then you're not hanging out with your family. But then when I say, why don't you come on? Oh, I'm hanging out with my family. Okay, bye. Like, how does that make you a righteous person? I just want to understand. I just don't understand how that works. But anyway, I just put him out. So I appreciate it, man. He can email management if he ever wants to come back on. jwit@jwit.com. I'll gladly have him come on. We can have this conversation, iron it out. But yeah, there's no reason for that. So I appreciate it, man. Y'all, thank y'all so much. Thank you so much to the moderators. I appreciate the support. Now, whether or not you just came through and just hung out with us all night, I appreciate it. You commented, you dropped those green hearts, all that kind of stuff like that. It means a lot. Thank you very much. I really did appreciate it. And we will not be doing this again. There's a good reason why I stopped doing this. And I now fully know why I stopped doing this. So we'll just let Candace burn on her own. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. But that was fun. So thank y'all so much, everybody who tapped in. We got a good show planned for the rest of the week, so I'm hoping that you all will enjoy it. I'll see you all then. Please, if you don't mind, tip your waiters on the way out the door. Make sure you say goodbye to your peeps, all that kind of good jazz. I'm going to see you all real soon. So until next time, good people. Let me go and get my little green hearts ready. There we go. Good people. Grace and peace. See you soon. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the J-Wit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.